Well, hey, hello. Welcome to another fantastic Tuesday evening of chat on the Chatisserie Cafe. That's something from Alan Partridge. Didn't quite work. Okay, so before I bring in my regular buds, and it's great that we've got our kind of regular team now after wanting to kind of put together the right gang for a while. Just to update people, first of all, if you've been involved in my GoFundMe to restage our play that we did about the post office scandal, the biggest miscarriage of justice in British history, which has all come to the fore now thanks to the television drama starring Toby Jones, which is available on ITVX. It is called Mr. Bates versus Post Office. If you put in some money, thank you so much, because so far we have raised, I think it's about £1,500. I'm just going to check at the campaign headquarters. It sounds like there's a team of 50 people on telephones behind me, doesn't it? I wish there was. £1,440. Thank you very much, people. I don't underestimate, how difficult it is for some people even to put in a small donation, because I have seen a lot of campaigns that would have liked to have put money in, but we live in very hard times where people can't afford to pay bills, and the people that normally donate money to these things, to name or to quote Kevin Costner from JFK, are the sort of people who can't afford to but do, and they really can't afford it. But I'm not depending on those people to raise the big bucks, actually, although please give if you can. But we are hoping, once we get a bit more national press, and that is coming this week, that we will end up with a couple of big sponsors. In the meantime, my good friend, Blue Collar Loser, has promised to wage war with whichever country is required in order to raise the necessary funds.
I know. It's like there's so many loops I had to go through. It's like, keep telling me your credit card's not valid, your debit card's not valid, your bank account won't let you donate money to the UK. I'm like, man, it's like a 2-hour process.
Yeah. I heard that donating from the States is to a GoFundMe, which is predominantly, I think, a British or a European kind of based crowdfunding type platform, is quite difficult. It is a pain in the arse. So
I got the process down now, but it was a good hour and a half of different loopholes.
Yeah. That's why Stepenzo hasn't been able to put his 10K on yet. I understand that must be very, very frustrating for him.
He's got it too.
Let's bring him in now. We do accept cash.
Don't worry. This dude from Nigeria hit me up, and he said that he's actually a royal prince, and all I have to do is send him $500, and if I wait a week, he's gonna send me $2,500 in return.
Okay.
So,
wow. I had the same.
I just got to give him my social security number and all my credit card information, and he'll send it over.
I had a similar email from a different prince. This one might have been from Ghana.
Prince Ndugu was his name.
Yeah, in the similar exchange, I get $28 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I've said I'm very up for that. Could he fly over in his first class jet and come and we'll discuss
I also shared Mr. Beast's post, so he might give me 25 grand also for following him apparently on X.
Okay, well, there we go. We also have a man going round in northern towns with a tin shaking with pennies in it, collecting money for us. It's Northern English bastard. How are you, sir?
Yes, I'm fine, but the tin shake is not doing well. I'm getting a lot of spit in my faces, though, if that counts as currency.
Yeah, that's probably shouldn't have put that dodgy picture on the side. Anyone who wants a little bit of a more of a perspective of some of the recent stuff that's been happening, there was a great Channel 4 news special just yesterday. I think they've just put it up on YouTube, and there's a good sort of summary of some of the shit that went on, and it's been proved now that this woman Paula Venables lied not only to sub postmasters but also to this committee, which is the Trade and Industry Standards Committee, which is, when people are in trouble, they're called before that committee and they have to answer series of questions, and that board, the people that sit on the board of that committee are pretty, you know, they're very, very important individuals. And yeah, she was up before that committee back in, I think it was 2017, and it's now been proven that she lied to them when she was there. So
Jesus.
yeah, I don't see how she's going to avoid ending up in court herself. She certainly should. But if you do check out that video, I just want to give a shout out to a friend of mine. I've got her on a very awkward pause at the moment. So in the chance that in the chance that she watches this, I'll try and get a slightly nicer one. Come on, Tracy, let's get a smile out of you. Well, actually, it's not really a place for her to do that. Okay, so my friend Tracy Fausted, become a friend of mine since she came to see the play. She gave evidence at the public inquiry. Here she is. And if you watch that link, which I've just put in the chat, this is a good summary of some of the stuff that's come out recently. Tracy's been an ardent supporter of the play. She just got interviewed by a newspaper about it. She was actually one of the first people to come and see it. And she was with another postmaster. I think it might have been, it was either Janet Skinner or Della Ryan. I forget which. They both ended up in terrible situations, you know, either going to prison or being prosecuted. And they sat in the front row of the stage. It's quite a small theatre, with their arms like this on the front row, waiting for the play to start, because of course they never met us and they didn't really know what to expect. And I was like, okay, I think that's two postmasters on the front row. I recognize one of them. So everybody backstage is like, postmasters are in. This was the second night of the show in Birmingham. But we all like ramped up our A game, and it you could just feel the energy. Then we started seeing them cry as well at different points. So it was yeah, I'll get onto that dark mode, man, later, but I don't like too much darkness on my monitor. So yeah, but Stupendo did try very hard.
That's okay. Have you seen that movie Don't Think Twice, about the improv actors? Keenan
No,
from Keenan and Kel's in it. So it's kind of what you're talking about. It's about these guys who are doing improv at a New York comedy kind of club, and they're a bunch of improv actors, you know, improv comedians, and they're very serious about it. And they have this type of, like, it's not Saturday Night Live, but it's a Saturday Night Live type show, the big New York, you know, skit comedy show that everyone knows. Well, it turns out that they find out that at their improv performance tonight, someone from that show, like an agent, a talent scout, is going to be there. So like it changes like the dynamics of everyone. Like everyone starts like hamming it up, you know, trying to impress you. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah, but that can actually really work against you.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's always better. Once we had that on the first night. From that point onwards, I would try.
It's like when you find out the food critics in the restaurant, and he's about to eat the food, and now everyone in the in the kitchen is like, "Oh God, the critics here! Oh no!" You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I would try not to tell people in the cast who was in and who wasn't. And I mean, we had lawyers come in as well, and you could spot them like a mile off.
They have a briefcase for some reason.
they would be representing people that you know, some of the people that are facing serious charges.
Jeez.
They would come in because they wanted to see if they were depicted in the play and how they were depicted. And but we had a legal disclaimer at the beginning of the play. We actually have a girl walk out and say it.
Gotcha.
And said, you know, this play is for legal reasons. This play is entirely a work of fiction, sort of thing.
Yeah,
we kind of,
dude. South Park's legal disclaimer is so great because it's like even the characters based on real people are entirely fictitious.
Yeah.
So don't.
I should not be recommended by anyone.
This is not Ben Affleck. This is South Park Ben Affleck. He's a different person. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because our play's a satire, so, you know, I mean, it says that on all the materials, and you know, so yeah, I mean, it's man, it's kind of weird being in the orbit around it all at the moment. because it's all still playing out, and
right.
I'm having to keep notes of things I've got to change. In the that's the beauty of our piece as opposed to the TV drama is, they can't exactly go back in and re-edit the last couple of episodes, but we can do that. We can go in, and it's mainly the second half that I've got to change a lot of the content on, and I do need to try and I've got to add some stuff, but I've also got to cut some stuff. So it's gonna have to trim the fat as opposed to chew the fat. Anyway, enough about false accounts. Let's talk about some film and TV stuff.
Yay!
And we'll before we pick the topics to go round and talk about in depth, using my big sand timer of doom, which is going to be for the four of us in total. Let's just say briefly what we've seen this week. So I have seen American Nightmare, which is a 3-part documentary series on Netflix. Definitely want to talk about that. I've got up to episode 7 of The Brother's Son, which is currently frozen on the telly over there. I was hoping I was going to see the rest of it. I've watched some more Big Mouth, which stars actually Andrew, as we know, and a couple of other things which will come back to me shortly. The Boys in the Boat. That's the film.
I did not get to watch that yet. I said I was going to.
Damn it. Okay, Blue Collar, quickly. The Sands of Time. So, what have you seen?
Basically, new stuff was Mean Girls 2024. I beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I tried playing Jedi Survivor today. PlayStation, YouTube kept crashing for some reason. And because Enzo, I've been binging this Ethan Van Sciver guy. He's doing like 3 and 4 hour shows. So that's been taking up an entire week of my time.
Trash cast.
Damn. You mean you've been on those shows or you've been watching them?
Just listening.
Watching them.
Yeah.
Okay,
because I was obviously a fan of Isom back here. I was and still kind of am a fan of Eric July, but this whole scandal is amazing. It's it's interesting YouTube drama.
YouTube kayfabe. So it happens every 3 or 4 years. All the YouTubers start fighting.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we're not doing that. And
no.
I would like to think
not yet.
That, ever one of us kind of ruffled the feathers of another, we could actually just have a sensible discussion about it. Pillowcases at dawn, and once that's resolved, move on.
Yeah, RT.
We'll get back into it. I'm kind of outside the sphere of that. I try to avoid that, but I'm kind of curious to hear about it in the same context.
Yeah.
It is good to listen to.
So, Stupenzo, what have you been? What have you been?
Well, doing? I watched 3 musicals: Wonka, Wish, and The Color Purple. One was okay, one was good, and one was awful. You'll find out which ones are which later. I also watched Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Yeah. I also watched some old stuff for the Wii watches. I watched with Andrew. We watched Howard the Duck. He had never seen that. I'm excited about that episode coming out in a few weeks. And then also I watched with Amateur Analyst. We watched Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And Blue Collar Loser has a cameo in that movie.
No way. You have
a delivery driver. Yeah. Which is very blue
collar. Leave out the door. Leave out the bloody door again.
But watched a lot of good stuff and some very bad stuff. But I should have watched Boys in the Boat instead of one of those musicals.
Well, before we say hello to people in the chat, and do chuck in comments because I'll read out as many of them as I can. Bastard. What have you been watching?
Oh, bloody hell. What did I watch on Saturday? I forgot.
Hurry up, because the sand's running out. Depends, I didn't leave you much time.
I've not been watching much. I did finish off The Brother's Son, and recently just been catching up with a bit of Seinfeld, but mostly making notes on my Heat stream.
This Friday.
And, I really need to get those notes in.
Okay.
What is Lance's avatar? It's awesome. He's got Legolas.
That's
Lanceless.
It's not a known fact that I was standing.
No, Legolas. Legolas is better.
Do you know, at the time they were casting Lord of the Rings, my hair was that long and it was that blonde. And not again! I forgot to turn it off again. Hang on.
Answer your phone. We'll vamp.
I need to get that ringtone. Holy shit.
We can vamp while you take your phone call, bro. It's fine.
It's the same guy again.
Who calls you every Tuesday?
Like, dude, I've got a
Tuesday at 4:00. Time to call Lance.
Calling me live.
Let's be honest. If you're gonna pick a ringtone, that's a ringtone.
Fake man. Anyway, So, all right, the first film I want to talk about is one I didn't mention because I wanted to give you all the meat of the sand, which is now about to run out, is Taika Waititi's.
Oh yeah, I want to watch this. The soccer movie? Or sorry,
yeah.
football?
And I mean it's sort of
yeah.
It's a cute film. It's okay. Basic premise is a failed. I mean, it's funny because I've written a film about a down on its luck football team that goes on to win the African Cup of Nations of 2012. 2012.
It's Fassbender, right?
But yeah, this is Michael Fassbender. He's a down on his luck football coach. He's been fired, and he needs a job, and they say, well, you can go and coach this particular Samoan football team. And the Samoan football team have the dubious record of the most goals scored against them in a World Cup. I think they lost 32-0 to one team, and they show that's the opening scene of the real footage of the game. And I mean, it's got a disclaimer at the beginning, kind of suggesting, yes, this is a biopic, but don't take it too seriously. And
Cool runnings, Jamaican bobsledding team.
It is very cool. It's very cool runnings in terms of tone. There is a transgender person in the team who actually does exist in real life. They were a real person. They were on this team. So I personally thought that's fine. That was great, actually, in a way.
As long as it doesn't distract from the story. It's,
not really. It was
fine, isn't it?
I mean, I felt their character was, in some ways, was the brunt of maybe unnecessary comedy. But the actor or actress who played that role was very, very good. Have to say they were good. Rhys Darby's got a cameo in it, and I absolutely love Rhys Darby. I'll watch
Flight of the Conchords.
I'll watch anything he's in.
It's very funny. He's very funny in that show.
Taika Waititi created that show. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yes. He also did What We Do in the Shadows. His earlier movies are some of my favorites. Like because Eagle versus Shark.
But he didn't create Flight of the Conchords. They were a stand-up comedy.
Right. But he helped put the show together. He was director, like the first episode. Yeah. Right.
Hunt for the Wilder People as well. Brilliant.
He's like the third Concorde. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's a strange guy because I think he's very talented.
Right.
And has produced some amazing work.
Hunt for the Wilder People was amazing.
I love that film.
And I think that he's said out loud that he only took his like Marvel jobs because he needed money. You know, he wanted to help his kids buy stuff. And it's like he just plays ball and makes whatever crap they say.
Yeah, those kids need to buy those 5-bedroom houses in New Zealand. It's very important.
So
as long as he doesn't direct Akira, I'm fine.
We'll guess it remains.
I remember when they were saying the Hughes brothers were going to remake Akira way back when with Leonardo DiCaprio and make it set in Neo Manhattan. It's just like, all that sounds terrible. Why would you do that?
That would not.
Why would you do that?
That would have been like some sort of $300 million bomb.
Kill me.
Has anyone else seen this apart from me?
No,
heard of it now.
Definitely on my list.
Now.
Okay, so I give it.
I knew about it.
Give it a sort of. It's a very easy watch. It's a beer and pizza movie. I give it a sort of soft 6 to 7 out of 10.
So you'd say Hunt.
It's very forgettable.
Okay, but Wilder People's like way better. You're saying?
Yeah, Wilder People's just got different, more solid messages, and it's more emotionally moving.
This is a fun little sports movie.
This is much lighter.
This is like Mighty Ducks. This is Taika Waititi's version.
It's in that ball. It's in that wheelhouse. It explores. I mean, it is about kind of, they only need to score in their head. They only need to score 1 goal to win because they've never scored a goal. So that's hence the title. Next goal wins. But it becomes about people finding their self-esteem and regaining confidence. This
how sweet.
So a sort of soft recommendation for me. It won't be for everyone, but I did enjoy it. It's not one I'm reaching to get the Blu-ray of and wanting to keep permanently in my collection.
Soundtrack by Michael Giacchino. How was the soundtrack?
Some good music.
That's it. It's a good one.
Good music in it.
I highly recommend Eagle versus Shark, and that soundtrack is so good.
Tell him justice is coming. All right, Justin.
Yeah, that's a great movie he made, and granted, like the female star like co-wrote that movie, so it had But the Phoenix Foundation, he used to collaborate a lot with them on his movies, and they make some really cool songs. They're kind of hit and miss. Some of their songs are a little meh, but some of their stuff is like really good. You guys in your old cell phones.
That's
Eagle versus Shark is great movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one from me. I'll come back round again in a bit. Blue Collar. Tell us about this YouTube drama that required 4 hours of your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo can. The basic way I take it is that I support Eric July, support ISOM, and his first issue, ISOM #1, wasn't the best. I reviewed it, and I said, well, it's his first issue. I'm not expecting too much dialogue, too much detail. But this guy Ethan Van Sciver, I never heard of him, but Enzo has. He is a comic book artist and a veteran. So he actually did his review of ISOM #1. And from an artistic standpoint, his criticisms, they were pretty, you could say harsh, but then again, when I'm reading a comic book, I don't draw comic books. And the way it's like almost like you, Lance, or anybody, if a director or somebody behind the scenes could criticize a film versus an average film goer. His criticism is ISOM #1 after watching his video, then going back and reading ISOM #1. I'm like, well, he's not wrong. And
yeah,
it's definitely the drama where, like I've told.
The reason why it's drama is because, he's just criticizing the book and he's not allowed to. But what's even weirder is he did the variant cover for the second book.
For ISOM #2, which I haven't. Which I boys haven't read it yet. And it just comes down to, Lance, anybody, we try you start realizing as our channels, everybody here, Enzo, Luke, Lance, myself, our channels get bigger. You start noticing there's, a lot of, Facebook or like YouTube friends and real life friends. And Eric July, I guess, started beefing with this guy, Yellow Flash and Eric July. And it's just you start finding out who your friends are and who your internet friends are. And that's one thing you're seeing with people.
It all seems to be financially motivated, which is strange. Like the idea of like, hey, turn on this guy who's criticizing me and I will in exchange like help you fund your comic book or get you jobs or what. It's just weird. And any friend who tells you, hey man, like a friend tells you, hey man, could you like not make fun of me or do that thing you're doing? It's kind of bothering me. Like that's one thing. But if you say, hey man, could you not do that or else I'm going to do this, that is a threat. And it's like, dude, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just strange when people start drawing lines in sand and just like, I don't know. We have a beef. So you got to pick, if me and Lance had a beef and now I'm telling Blue Collar, like, if you're hanging out with Lance and you and me are done, buddy.
That's pretty much
that's weak. That's weak sauce.
Yeah, he said that.
I wonder no one's been calling me recently.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I would say if anyone's for uninitiated, all I got to say is watch Ethan Van Sciver's reviews of ISOM #1 and ISOM #2. It's like 4 hours, 5 hours total. And it's like, even if you're not into comic books, like, especially if you're not into comics, you'll learn so much about sequential storytelling and like what works and what doesn't work. And like, there's such a like crazy art form to it, then like, just like with filmmaking, like, why do we frame shots certain ways? Like the layman doesn't understand why you would frame a shot certain way. But when a director explains like, oh, well, it invokes this emotion because this lighting and this, and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't think of it like that. I mean, the same thing with this comic book review. You're like, whoa, I didn't realize.
Biggest takeaway.
And so you've eaten into 2 minutes of Chris's time there with a single response.
Hey, man, I'm fat. I like to eat.
But it is, Lance, well, the whole like right here, like the ISOM, the thing they talk about is they call 3D images. It's like, and guys like Ethan,
hold that up again.
Right here, the art design, it's not bad per se, but someone like Ethan says that, listen, these are 3D models and you're basically just assembling. You go on YouTube or something, you can buy 3D models and you're basically plastering 3D models versus like, oh, well, Ethan Van Sciver, it takes him a year to write a comic book. It takes him a year because all of his art is actually hand drawn. These are not hand drawn. These are just assembled on a computer, you know. So it's like,
well, I'm sure Eric July probably doesn't have a huge clan of people to do all that shit for him, presumably.
Yeah. Well, and even like a writing standpoint, like, you know, Ethan was breaking down his writing. Like, you can tell he's, you know, it's your first time. But the main thing I got was accept criticism. Like, you know, I've been gracious enough to be on Open Bar as much as English Bastard. Critical Drinker has given me his own criticisms, but also advice. And my thing is, if I have 200 subs, if I tell a guy with 1.6 million subscribers, hey, dude, you know, I'm not taking your criticism, you know, F off. I'm smarter than you. No, Ethan has 30 years of actually drawing comic books. Eric, you know, it's like, be humble and say, dude, it's your first time. Apologize. Hey, listen, it's not perfect. I'm learning.
Try and work with each other.
Even if you don't like it, just ignore it. Just be like, just don't acknowledge it. Don't call it.
You don't have to have a big spat about it. Certainly not a public one.
Stupid.
I've had advice offered on my YouTube channel from people who I respect and think, yeah, cool. I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then there's other people.
Yeah, I'm also
me.
Yeah. But don't
listen to me.
Not you.
Like part of my fan base for people like Eric July or Yellow Flash or Drink or anybody is that, hey, we have no problem making fun of Disney or Marvel or making fun of Hollywood, making fun of actors. But then, well, these guys, they fired Gina Carano from Disney, right? But then Disney blocked me. Okay, no problem. Fair enough. I respect you for that. But then if someone's like, hey, Eric, your comic book wasn't the best, block. It's like, hold up a second. You kept saying that Marvel and Disney Hollywood are blocking you, but that you're being a critic, but then you're blocking your critics. So it's kind of like you're becoming the same thing you've been getting your fans hyped up about. It's like, that's what's like me. People see my comment section. I will respond to every single comment, good and bad. I will take criticism. My initial reaction is like, Lance, if you watch me review Mean Girls, well, Chris, maybe you could have changed this. Well, Lance, F off, block you, never talk to me again. That's not a mature way to handle stuff.
No, of course not.
Plus, the comic industry is really going down at the moment, and Isom could have been something that could really inject new life into it. But now, because he's refusing to take any criticism from someone who knows what he's talking about, or even try and work with someone who knows what they're talking about in order to make Isom really fucking great, it's putting a dampener on that.
The thing is, the haters are saying, because Ethan Van Sciver did it first, you know, him and your boy Zach, they started raising crowdfunding comic books with Jawbreakers and Cyberfrog, and they made tons of money. And then other artists like Aaron Lopresti and Graham Lenolan and Billy Tucci and Dale Keown, one of the greatest of all time, is on it, you know, trying to bring back Pitt. You know, these crowdfunding thing is a thing, but this is for comic book fans. Like, comic book fans are gravitating towards Comicsgate, whereas these YouTubers, they're like, oh, I want to make merch, right? I should make a hat or a coffee mug. Well, some of them are like, I'm going to make a comic book. Like, it's so easy. And Eric July has a huge fan base, and he sold 1 million comic books because, you know, they would have bought anything he's selling. And most of these people, most of these people get the comics and they're not even reading it. And they're finding that out, which is weird. Yeah, and the people who are reading it are like saying it's mid at best.
Because they've asked people, like, you know, the supposed quote unquote fans, hey, so, like, you know, to be on a YouTube stream, hey, so what's your favorite part about Isom? Yeah, okay. What's the main character? His name is Isom, is his superhero name. What's his actual name?
But here's where it's bad faith. Like, the people that are defending Isom would start ironically like, so what's your favorite part of Isom? Oh, my favorite part is where, and they would just make up some nonsense, and they're trying to be funny. But you guys don't understand this is a cell phone. Like, you guys are bragging that you don't read the book, and if you did read the book, there is no favorite part because the book is so weird.
And that's why, like, I take it even to the entertainment industry. On Patreon, I'm not sure if Lance has it, but the Critical Drinker, I just seen today, hey guys, here's a 4-minute behind the scenes look of Rogue Elements. And Drinker, from what I've gathered with him, I mean, I reviewed Dark Harvest, but like, if Rogue Elements sucks, I'll flat out say I think it sucks. I want it to be good, but like, even with Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire, you know, take the politics aside. Daily Wire made, you know, a Gina Carano film, that new comedy there, you know, Lady Ballers. At least, you know, I don't see Ben Shapiro, like, you know, blocking people for criticizing. Critical Drinker had on Russell Crowe, and they were promoting The Pope's Exorcist. He didn't give The Pope's Exorcist the best reviews, and it wasn't a great film. But I don't see, like, you know, people shadow banning Drinker for being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
interviewed Ben Shapiro. He still gave an honest review on Lady Ballers, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'm seeing that, like, and how many directors in Hollywood and writers are like, okay, we made the perfect film. Okay, I like your film. Well, F you, you're a toxic fan. Versus maybe you're right. Maybe Ben Shapiro and these guys are like, you know what? It was our first comedy. We're trying to do better. We apologize. That's
all you have to say is like, hey, thanks for that advice. I will look into that, or I'll think about that next time. That's all you got to say, even if you don't even believe it or like it. You just be nice,
Enzo recently, fixed his microphone problems. His rewatches have gotten better, and he admitted to it.
Right. Yeah, I admit I'm stupid all the time. I'm like, dude, my audio, it's better. Oh my God. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like criticism, it's valuable, when people give you valid criticism. And also the other problem is, you've got, I don't know, these artists, like that's the thing. It's so easy to be, oh my God, the new season of She-Hulk, it's terrible. It's so bad. And it's like, okay, well, guess what? Now you get to make a show. 9 times out of 10, most people would choke. They don't know what the damn thing. I don't know. I think I know what it takes to make a movie. I have no idea. I've made a short film for school. One time I had to direct a handful of students with me, and I've done that twice, but I don't know a damn thing about making a gigantic, full production, like what's $1 billion budget.
Whether it's Lance, Luke, Enzo, everybody here, Lance will give a film a 6 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. And I respect that because he's honest. It does get kind of, I guess this whole clout chasing, like Ethan says, hey guys, everything Disney makes is shit. Everything Star Wars. No, the Critical Drinker actually said Andor's pretty good. So maybe not everything is terrible. We are getting sick and tired of the whole clout chasing where everything in 2024 is going to suck. No, I think Dune's going to be pretty good.
Well, it's easy to, like I said, it's easy to trash stuff, but then it's not so easy to make something good. And I think that's what some of these creators are finding out. It's easy to talk all this game, like, oh, I've had roommates who have said, if you gave me $300 million, like when Avatar came out, give me $300 million, I'll make the best movie in the world. And it's like, you probably won't. You probably just make another version of Avatar, stupid. This big space shit with like aliens and they all invade Earth and take it over and destroy things. I've never seen that before. Cool.
But no, I find this to be better like entertainment and TV than like shows I watch, just because it's hitting all 4 of us and everybody in the chat close to home, because we're seeing, like I said, with Uninspired Reviewer, I like someone like Uninspired because he's gaining popularity, not because he's trying to milk an algorithm. He's typing in buzzwords. The kid makes a Judge Dredd video. It gets like 20,000 views because it was a good video. It wasn't because I had to talk to this guy.
On the stand timer, Lance. What are you doing other stuff? What?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
I'm good. I'm just listening. I'm letting you guys go, and I'll chip in a sec.
Yeah, but
I know this isn't really movie oriented.
Well, I mean, it's definitely entertainment.
The reason why we're listening to this drama the main reason is because it's hilarious. I'm sorry. His ISOM reviews are so funny. That's the other thing. Not only do you learn a lot, but dude, I was laughing out loud, like uproariously, many moments.
Well, I find it educational for being people on YouTube. I mean, the 4 of us here are on YouTube, and that's why recently that guy the quartering and the Critical Drinker had him on a long time ago, and I always said,
well, that's the other problem.
These
can't
people
even talk crap about some of these YouTubers. Like that's certain friends of ours are like, oh, I can't have so and so hanging out with me because they talk crap about so and so publicly, and it's like it's like YouTube politics, like I can't get on.
I mean, there's a lot of that goes around, and it's also like, I've seen it and I've heard it in my orbit, and
I'll never get on Drinker's channel because I called as a zero one time. It's like that's so funny.
I mean, I try to ignore it, and I've had conversations with Will about it as well, and we both find it sort of we call it school playground politics.
Yeah,
it's like being at school, My friend said that you said that so and so, and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
It just goes to show that just because you're anti-woke doesn't automatically mean you can write a good story either. I mean, you still got to learn what makes it work, what doesn't make it work, depending on what story you're trying to get across.
Yeah. And that's why I respect everybody here. I mean, like whether it's Lance or Enzo or you, Luke, people give their honest opinions. Like I said, if She-Hulk season 2 was good, if I'm the one person YouTube to say it, screw it. I mean, I don't expect it to be, but like I'll give it. I think I've always said this since day one. Love or hate my reviews or anybody's reviews, I have the Regal app, or even if I didn't have the Regal app, if I'm going to give an honest review, I'm going to go drop $10 or $15 and say, at least I actually watched it, versus like people, oh, I think it's terrible. Why? Did you watch it? Well, I saw the trailer. That doesn't hold much clout because trailers can be very misleading.
All right. Well, look, let's table that and move on. Okay, so blue collar, that's all of your time.
Thanks.
And 50% of Stupendo. Okay, so you were watching that thing. Did you also see any new films or TV shows that you like?
Honestly, I mean, Mean Girls 2024. I know, they're just Mean Girls. That was it the past week. So
okay, so that now Mean Girls is a remake. Reboot?
Yes, it's a musical. It's a musical based off the play that Tina Fey made in 2018. So Tina Fey turned Mean Girls into a Broadway play.
Yeah, I think we had it. I think it was going to come to London, but I can't remember.
So this movie is based on that play, but which is also based on the first film, which is also based on the first book.
So effectively, it's a reimagining of the musical that was a reimagining of the film that was a reimagining of the book.
Oh God,
yeah.
That hurt.
Gone through quite a few incarnations there. Question: was it any good?
Like I said, I enjoyed parts of it. But because it's such a carbon copy of Mean Girls, it's like it's the same jokes. Tina Fey and Tim Meadows are back in it. The same setups. They even do the same scenes from the 2004 film, just with different actors. So the parts of it I liked is because I'm getting the member berries. I'm recognizing the jokes from 20 years ago.
Right. Okay.
So it's almost like, what if you made Blazing Saddles musical, but you use the exact same jokes, but just now with music?
There'd be a great song where it goes, "We eat beans."
Yeah.
We eat beans.
And that's the hard question, but like, would it be a good movie, or is it just they're just copying the same jokes you already know? That's the issue I have with it.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can recreate Blazing Saddles, but it'd be interesting to try.
Well, like Enzo knows terms like that's so fetch. That's so fetch.
Mean Girls musical out of 10. What would you give it?
Damn, I'd say like a 6, I guess.
Okay. Just want to, before we move on, I just want to say hi to people in the chat because I said I was going to do that, and then we got sucked into that whole Eric July, Nesta Vipers argument situation. And I'm sure Eric's not going to watch this channel, but if he does, just out of interest, I did support him quite vocally when he was initially trying to do his comic. Good to see Desert Phoenix here. Putting money on a GoFundMe, and if you're in America, can be complicated. See Blue Collar Loser for details. He's got a guidebook which will help you.
Yeah.
Good to see CLS. Good to see OT. Excellent. And then we've got Stupinzo says he's sick in the head outside. We can tell.
No, Luke is. I was saying.
So
say it like it's a bad thing.
James Willard was here. Smilex was here. Desert Phoenix is saying, sad that comic companies are stooping to put social agendas in stories where they don't belong. It's been going on in film and TV, so why stop there? Jammer Lama, who we've established is not a girl, give me 300 million, and I'm looking for who doesn't have an extra in the US. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that's to do with, probably some sort of personal escape. Krabby Patty is here. I'd rather hang than watch a musical. There's never been a good one. Besides, I'm just Ken. There has.
Talk about so many musicals today.
Dude, there's
Little Shop of Horrors, Little Shop of Horrors, for God's sake.
Bugsy Malone is a fantastic musical.
Yeah.
Luke, it's your turn, buddy. What have you seen this week, and what's good?
Well, nothing new. I've just mostly been trying to catch up on Seinfeld because I've only watched it all the way through once, and I've been trying to watch other things, and yet it's still a fucking funny show. It really is. The characters are just terrible, awful people, but you still can't help but love them.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It's like probably like a precursor to Always Sunny, because I like about Always Sunny, 16 seasons.
Yeah,
they're the exact same characters they were 16 seasons ago. And
not really.
Yeah, I watched the last season of that as well, and they're still they're awful. That bloody what was it, like Chuck E. Cheese place where it's all safe and non-offensive, so they put on a show and everyone ends up in fucking hospital.
Yeah.
I could still hear you, but I need at least 30 seconds in a response to do an adequate wee break. So,
Yeah.
you know,
What's big about characters like
What
Frank
man
and Dee?
calls it wee? Come on, man. See, I
Okay.
gotta take a big piss.
Going to the little boys' room or shaking hands with an old friend. I have many can be used. Anyway, the point is, I turn my camera off. I'm listening, but I'm dashing to the bathroom, which is literally there.
You destroy the you kind of defeat the purpose when you tell us after the fact. You know, that's the whole point.
Just keep the mic on.
This is a comical show where people can.
Guys, I've urinated 5 times since I've been on the show. All right.
This will be fucking naked gone where they hit him in having a piss.
I love that scene.
Okay. And yeah, Seinfeld is good. I mean, who's looking forward to the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Because I know I am.
I actually like Curb more than Seinfeld. I like Curb more than Seinfeld. I know it might be.
It is more realistic. I've only seen the first season up, and I don't know why I haven't watched others yet.
Dude, you got so much.
I really need to.
There's like 10 seasons.
Do you know? Do you know when I first watched it? I think actually for the first 2 seasons, because 90% of the time they were calling everybody by their real names, and some of the people were pretty much playing themselves. You even had some people in the industry that were playing themselves. So I thought Cheryl Hines was Larry David's wife in real life. I really did for the first 2 seasons. And somebody said, "Oh yeah, you know, Larry David's wife is into all animal care and saving the world and all this kind of thing." And that sent me a link for a website. When I had a look on this website, I was like, "It's not the same woman. What's going on here?" I was very confused. So hats off, because she had to audition and everything. And they have such amazing natural chemistry. And she's just about to do another show, which a friend of mine, I think, has a connection to and is probably going to come on the channel and talk about. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Desert Phoenix is saying, over the time Lance went to the bathroom and left it. Mike's not in the bathroom though.
I'm gonna start doing that on purpose. Like,
mate, that was just me watering the plants. It was purely a coincidence.
You know, he's smart too. He's not pumping out seasons like every year. He takes his time to write each season. That's what I like about it.
Have you seen his interview with Ricky Gervais from back in 2006? I mean, that was probably the first time I became aware of Larry David. Ricky Gervais.
I loved his first movie, Sour Grapes. It's like 2 cousins go to Atlantic City, and one of them is like a successful doctor, and the other one is kind of like a shoe designer who doesn't make as much money, you know. And one of them's engaged, and one of them kind of has a girlfriend, and the poor one is like borrows. He's like, "Hey, I'm out of money," and they're on a slot machine, and then the rich one, Steven Weber, he's like, "Here, we could use my last couple dollars. Here you go." And he uses his last couple dollars and wins like, you know, $36,000. And the whole thing is about like, well, I should be entitled to half that money. He's like, no, I was going to give you like $1,000, you know, just as a thank you. He's like, what? Oh my God. But yeah, if you like Larry David, it's definitely in that wheelhouse. Jackpot. What is that title? Ooh, I don't like that. Sour Grapes is a better title.
Retitled.
Yeah. Sour Grapes is a way better title.
I've never seen this. I am familiar with both those actors, and I'm a big fan of Steven Weber.
Craig Bierko is amazing in this one. When he gets the check, dude, he walks out of the casino office like with a cigar in his mouth, and he's doing like this, like the dance thing. He's like doing the what's it, the Groucho Marx.
Yeah, he's a very underrated comedy actor. He really is. I know he played David Lister in the Red Dwarf American pilot, but he just didn't match it though.
I've just been reading Matthew Perry's autobiography, and I've just remembered Craig Bierko is the guy who turns down the part of Chandler on Friends.
Weird.
And I can see him play Chandler a little bit. Yeah.
Because Matthew Perry was doing a sci-fi pilot about 2 people working at a space station airport, baggage handlers or something it was called. and he said it was terrible. But he signed a contract to do the pilot, and if it got the green light, he wasn't going to be able to do Friends. Right. In the meantime, Craig Berko, who was either like his flatmate or one of a cohort of 4 guys, they all hung around together. They always went to that same cafe in LA, and the other 2 are relatively famous now. Went up to be seen for Chandler, and he got offered the role of Chandler, but he also got offered this other role, and I forget what it was now, but it was it was another TV show where he was going to be the lead, and of course as Chandler he was going to be part of an ensemble, right? So he decided he actually asked Matthew Perry, what should I do? And Matthew Perry said, take the role of Chandler, the script's brilliant. And Craig Berko did the opposite of his advice, took the other thing, I guess, ego, I'm the lead role in this show, Charles in Charge type show, that kind of thing. And so then they came back to Matthew Perry because that show wasn't getting greenlit. It didn't they weren't going to make any episodes. Everybody thought the pilot stank. So Perry was now available. He begged to be seen by the casting director again, went in, nailed the part. They offered it to him on the spot, pretty much. And the rest, as they say, is history. So
yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Well,
I could sort of see him playing Joey a little bit as well, because he had a bit of a model look. Like, he looked like a model, didn't he? So he could have played that part well. He'd have that voice with the have that real smooth voice, but but still be a bit of a dumbass. Yeah.
Suerte. Suerte means luck, right?
Is that worth checking out? That Sour Grapes.
Yes, it's very funny. It's one of those movies where like it's one of those movies that kind of causes anxiety because like nothing. It's one of those movies where like everything goes wrong gradually. Yeah. So we're like it's like a big cluster F,
Right.
Bro, it's bad. It's good stuff.
Stephen Berko is still a jobbing actor.
Craig Berko.
He did 4 episodes of a show called Sex Life, which is something I vaguely remember, and I mean that literally. And then 1 episode of something called Julia in 2023, and he was an episode of The Blacklist, which I do enjoy. I do like The Blacklist. Haven't seen all of them, but I've seen about the first four seasons.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the finale, so it's definitely
it's all wrapped up now, is it?
It's officially done, yeah. But,
yeah, I mean, I love James Spader, but I just, how many seasons of him growling in a trench coat can I watch?
Yeah, I do. I did like my favorite character becomes Harry Lennox. Really, just gets fleshed out as each season progresses. So I did like their dynamic was fantastic.
I need to. The problem is, right? I binged those 4 seasons, and that was like whenever it was, 2015 or something. And now I've watched so much stuff since then, I've forgotten them all.
Yeah.
So I'd like, if I started watching season 5, I'd be like, who's this? I'd have to try and I'd need some kind of YouTuber who's done an edit of this is everything you need to know about the first 4 seasons, and I can pick it up.
Yeah.
Watch season 5. Okay, so we are all looking forward to Larry David's. Depenzo, what else have you seen?
Okay, so I want you guys to guess. Like I said, I watched 3 musicals. This will be okay. So I watched.
Yeah. Let's play.
Okay, so there's a good one, there's a bad one, and an okay one.
How do I do one of those vote things on the chat? When you
poll, you got to be in YouTube. You got to be on the YouTube channel and create it. Then I don't think it's necessary. I just want to ask you guys.
Open in a separate window. So let's see if we can put it up and people can vote for which one was your.
Well, I watched The Color Purple. I watched Wonka, and I also watched Disney's Wish. One of them was bad, one of them was okay, and one of them was good.
Okay, so how do I create this? I
don't know. It might be easier because there's only so many people watching. It might be easier to just ask the chat.
Okay, so chat. Stepenzo
Smilex stalks me, so he knows.
Stepenzo watched 3 musicals. The 3 musicals were Wonka, Color Purple,
and Wish.
And Wish. Okay, you thought
one
was
good?
Great. You thought one was great, one was mediocre, and one was rubbish.
Yeah.
Which is
Smilex.
Oh, here we go. Start a poll. I found it. Ask a question. Add option. Okay. hang on. So which musical? Which musical was rubbish? We'll just do that one. Okay. So and let's add an option. Okay. So and the options are Wonka, Color Purple.
Smilex.
Hey, this is like a YouTube tutorial session, guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
What was the third one? Wish. Third one's
Yeah.
Wish.
you wish.
Okay, Wish is the only one that gets a capital letter, but there we go. I was rushing. So there you go, guys. There's a poll. So according to Stepenzo, which of these three musicals was rubbish? Okay, so we're just writing for the rubbish one.
Well, we can talk about Monarch while that.
Yeah, okay. While that's percolating, let's
Monarch was pretty good. I think the reason why I liked it more than most people was I watched it all in 2 sittings at double speed, which really helped. Really helped enjoy the
like the
enjoyment.
monsters were all doing this kind of thing.
Basically, it means everyone in the movie's talking as fast as I talk normally. So,
Yeah.
you know, because everyone in movies talks like this. You have to understand, Godzilla, he's coming. It's never like, oh my God, Godzilla's coming, run. You know, it's never like, spit it out, man. It's always like, oh my God. They got to draw out everything, you know?
But
isn't that got to be dramatic?
Yeah, you're telling me that there's an underspace deep under the Earth's core. Yes.
When I pause and
my
speak
God.
deep, the women
that's how everyone talks. Yeah, one thing I didn't like about these movies was like there's lots of cool monsters, but none of the Toho monsters. Like there's a giant spider from Kong Skull Island, but it's not Kamunga from Toho.
Don't worry.
Don't
worry, Stupendo. They're coming. They're coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Dragons
Big
are
crap.
Yeah.
John Goodman has a totally random cameo at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess like the big
at
strong
that
part
hair.
is
Come on.
Is that John Goodman?
There he is.
At the bottom one or the top one?
There's no Godzuki in it, Smilex, unfortunately.
You know what? I absolutely hated Godzuki.
Everyone hates Godzuki. But, you know, people don't mind Godzilla Jr. from the Heisei series because he didn't look ridiculous. Here's the thing. This little Asian lady, quite a stage presence on her. I mean, I didn't really particularly like any of the millennial characters. But she is at least very easy on the eyes and I don't know, not particularly grating performer. I don't know. I feel like she's probably got some good things coming for her maybe as an actress.
Yeah.
Also a very Asian-centric story, Asian-centric casting, which I was cool about.
Except this guy.
No, yeah, exactly. There's like 2 white dudes in the whole show and everyone else is Japanese.
This guy does look like he could have just stepped out of an SS Aryan battalion.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. The show's pretty simple. I mean, there's a lot of like discourse right now online about the show because it's like there's hardly any monsters in it. It's like, well, duh, the show's called Monarch. What did you expect? I mean, I think for an 8-hour, what is it, like an 8-hour show, 9-hour miniseries.
Yeah,
I think there's a decent amount of monster shenanigans. It reminds me of the animated show Godzilla. What's it, 0 Point or whatever? There's a lot of like
Godzilla -1.
Yeah, a lot of humans doing like mystery gang solving, you know, and then a little more pieces of the monster verse being unraveled. But what's interesting about the story is kind of this like. They're doing the Chris Nolan 2 timelines at once narrative, timelines meshing together. It even has like an Interstellar vibe, you know, with like time, not necessarily time travel, but like, what's the word? Time
distortion.
Distortion. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Monarch was poop. Yeah, like I said, I think I liked it more because like I said, I just burned through it a lot quicker than most people.
Right.
Yeah. How's that poll doing anyway?
Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to the poll in a minute. Is this one of the Okay, so
actually,
scientists, we have to have a meeting, and they discuss the animal's weak points.
No, it's even worse. They got to go to the missing scientist's office to figure out what's going on. Where did he go? And there's like, oh, it's just like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like, wait, the sunlight comes through the window and you put the thing over the wall and you can see the little dots and they match up to the map. That's where they're going. They're going to Africa. And then nobody explains like how the hell they went to Africa the next day.
Or why that device even exists in the first place.
It just cuts to them in a helicopter and they're like in Africa. It's like, it's a lot. You never see, them booking, a flight, going to the airport, figuring out, none of that. That's all expedited.
Now, is this guy here wearing some sort of 80s phone pack that you have to carry in a backpack?
It's actually 1950s. The story takes place in the 50s and the 80s and the 2000s, which is cool because honestly, I got to say the main thing about the show is like get rid of all the modern day stuff. If you had made it just solely in the 50s, like that would have been better because those characters are cooler. And I don't know. They
timeline is Kurt Russell in
the modern day stuff.
Yeah. Kurt and Wyatt play the same character, which is fun.
Yeah, I can see that. I can, especially with that jawline.
Yeah. That little things like that give it. I still would
a
say
very
this
underrated
show.
actor.
Yeah, and both of the Asian grandma over here, dug her.
That's a very hot Asian grandma.
Doctor, please. But yeah, they got this weird throuple thing going on, and a lot of the Zillennial stuff. These kids, the girl on the right, she was annoying.
Right.
These characters, they all do the same self-serving, self gratification.
Some kind of Peter Jackson underworld leech creature.
That's in Antarctica.
Yeah, some kind of Alaska. Some kind of Alaskan fire eater.
Well, they call them Titans.
Oh yeah, of course, Alaska's known for those.
Yeah.
I don't know. Godzilla to me, it's like Superman, or it works better when there's just like Godzilla.
What
channels?
What channels is this on Netflix?
It's Amazon.
No, it's Apple.
Amazon. Or Apple. Excuse me, Apple TV.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's the commitment? How many episodes are we talking here?
10 45-minute episodes, which was like I said.
450
watch that shit at double speed. You'll thank me for that suggestion.
Okay. Out of 10, what would you give it?
Oh, a 5. 6.
Oh, damn. Has anyone else anyone else seen it?
I know, I agree with Enzo. Definitely like Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell are the best parts of the show. If you want, Lance, I did share a screen. It's watchable for me, where there is a lot of fat to be trimmed, no doubt. But
I said it yesterday. You could have
like
made a really awesome dense 2.5 hour movie.
Look at this. Like that's on a television show.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
but just
get it.
But seeing this on a TV budget, like that's crazy.
Not playing that.
Yeah.
Okay, we better stop there.
But no, the monsters. I mean, some episodes you get 20 seconds of Godzilla, but considering he looks like it comes out of a $200 million film, at least when you see Godzilla, it's not like some cheap Disney, special effects. It actually looks legit.
Yeah.
So like Jamison gave up around episode 2, but like I say, the last 2 episodes were kind of the best part of the show, and it's like I said, you could have just made a nice 2-hour movie that could have been really cool.
I agree.
But Stard, have you seen it?
Not yet, no. I've just been a little bit skeptical, but like you said, Blue seems to think it's good. You think it's good, Enzo? Or decent?
I see. The thing is, I'm biased because I'm a gigantic Godzilla fan. I knew I was going to have to watch it eventually anyway.
Sure.
And it's fine for what it is. But I mean, to the layman, I don't think most people would. I don't know.
I have to say now that if Godzilla doesn't reach out for whatever this device is, take it like a cigar and light it in this scene with his magical death beam,
swallow it.
I'd be very upset. That's a perfect cigar lighting.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's like I'm not really becoming a fan of the American legendary Godzilla. I mean, it's just kind of, he looks weird to me, and I just don't like the design the more I see it. And he's constantly roaring for no reason. Just constantly gets out of the water. Roar!
He's here.
Damn, that's a pretty that's that thing.
But Lance, you weren't off though. That's the premise, of what the first legendary film. What's that right there? It's nuclear bomb. What happened? Well, we tried to kill him. Yeah, we put a nuke in his face and just basically pissed him off.
Right. Yeah. Which not the best course of action.
Yeah, the young cast are boring.
Gary Bolter from Outcast Australia is in the house.
Hell yeah.
See Gary. Gary is going to be on with us for the Jim Henson's The Thing.
Right.
Stream,
he was also on the beginning of every stream in your intro video.
He is. I think we're going to do the detailed breakdown of Jim Henson's. We might have to call it Jim Jensen's The Thing. On the last Sunday of February, if that works for you, Stupendous. So I think that's when we're going to do that.
The last Sunday of when?
February, last Sunday of next month.
That works.
Yeah, that gives time for us to get all those stills. I've also got.
I gotta take my VHS copy and run it through the digital converter and then save it and download it.
Good news. I have not only is the film's producer, who we've met before, of course, because we interviewed him during the Napoleon Martin Weir Napoleon breakdown. It's the same producer that was involved in the Muppet version of The Thing. So he's coming back for an interview. We've also got one of the Muppet cast coming on that stream.
Oh, my God.
Who's going to do an interview,
awesome.
Under certain conditions, and is going to talk to us all about the things that went on to make the Muppet version of The Thing. So that's going to be a fun. Anyway, I'll sound like I'm wrapping up.
How's that poll doing? I have a feeling they're right.
Right, let's have
the poll is correct.
Let's check out the poll. Okay, so 71% of people have voted Wish, 29% of people have voted Color Purple, none have voted Wonka. So most people are suggesting that Wish is the one that you thought was shite.
Right. What's that funny is that's correct, but all right. Okay. Well, I will say Wish was terrible.
Yeah, my guess would have been, I haven't seen Wish, but my guess would have been from what I've heard from other people, Wish was terrible, Wonka was okay, and Color Purple was great.
Yeah, that's the surprise. Wonka was okay, and the Color Purple was, I was expecting to hate the Color Purple remake, and I actually thought it was pretty damn good, or at least the music part was. The music was phenomenal, and I realized why, because it's produced by Quincy Jones. Steven Spielberg and Oprah are also producers, but like Quincy Jones, he's the guy who did all the music for Thriller, and he's a legend. He did the Shaft theme, no, that's Isaac Hayes, excuse me.
Should we all commit to trying to watch Color Purple so we can discuss it together next Tuesday?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, maybe you guys might hate it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who liked it. I could be weird.
And I'm keen to see it. So
yeah, I will say it's not as good as the original, obviously, and there's some tonal whiplash because it's like very bombastic songs, and then
modern
cut to domestic violence or racism or whatever, and then like a music number.
Are there any gay characters or gay relationships?
No, and everything that isn't kind of cringe or woke, you would call it, is from the original.
If anyone watching, I'm all in favor of those, but in the original Color Purple book, and
there are no lesbians.
In the original film, there aren't any. That's
right.
So
they did not add any nonsense. Yeah. Did Quincy Jones do the music for the original Color Purple? I want to say it's probably John Williams. John Williams is always collaborating with Spielberg, right?
I don't think it was. The Color Purple movie was like 1985.
Yeah. Let's see. If it was Quincy Jones, then that would explain stuff. But I gotta say,
it was the original. Movie was 85.
Who did the music?
The score was done by Quincy Jones. It was.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Wow, Smilex. Okay. That's great.
Let me look under the detailed information.
You're right.
This is the first feature film directed by Spielberg for which John Williams did not compose the music because he had got stuck in Hawaii.
Oh,
it doesn't say.
Well, you know what's funny is my favorite is the thing about the Color Purple that I love is when Elizabeth Banks was like at some award show and he's like, they're like honoring Steven Spielberg, and she comes out, she's like, isn't it effed up that Steven Spielberg has never made a movie with a female lead, female main character? And then someone in the audience is like, Color Purple, and she's like, oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
of course.
Where did that happen? I've so got to see that.
A couple years ago, dude. It was so funny.
And someone called her out on it. That's
yeah, that
pretty
was
good.
like around when she was making the Charlie's Angels reboot. But dude,
Yeah.
She really went downhill there, though. She really did.
But what's even funnier is he did BFG also, which also had a female lead. But
That
anyway,
was that was Color Purple got nominated for something like 13 Oscars, and it didn't win a single one, not even like art direction or whatever.
Well, if you want to hear my uncensored, more offensive, hilarious opinions about the Color Purple remake, check out our stream yesterday. Now I will say the lead actress who plays Whoopi Goldberg's character, she's like an American Idol winner or contestant or runner-up, and she has like a distractingly huge ass in that movie. But aside from that, she did a very good job. She can sing. These actresses can sing. Halle Bailey,
Alice Walker, who wrote the original novel, she's still alive, which is 79. I have read the original book, and it's a great book. I mean, God, what I wouldn't give to interview her, really. What a fantastic life she's had, and advocated lots of different rights and all the rest of it, as one should. But just a very interesting personal life, and I'm sure she could write, another 5 or 10 bestsellers. You've also.
I'm not gonna.
What's
I'm
this?
not gonna play it.
There's a quote right here.
Yeah, there it is. There you go.
Can we hear the? Can we hear the?
Now.
You hear it?
It's okay.
You never made a movie with a female lead.
All right.
The Color Purple. Sorry, Steven. I didn't mean to call your ass out, but it's true. The Color Purple. Oh, right. And you can hear the whole audience. You hear the whole audience.
Thank you. Okay, I'm wrong.
The whole audience collectively starts like laughing.
It's like Lisbeth.
But one thing, I won't show it here because it gets a copyright claim, but I did show off some really cool harmonies that are in that movie. Like, I think as a musician, I think I might have also given the movie more bonus points, because there was a lot of parts where I was like, these women would be singing, and I would be like, damn, that sounded good. What was that? That harmony was awesome. There were some literal or parts where I was just like, oh, okay, because I watched Wish, and the songs are so rudimental, and they're so this is the problem. And I realized it watching Wish with these modern Disney movies. That stupid Let It Go song became like a huge pop hit and was played on the radio. So now every musical number, they're not written like musicals songs. They're written like pop songs for the radio.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why these songs suck. And also the movie was terrible because it's like literally like some kind of evil king. He's basically evil because he's handsome, and it's just like Encanto. It's the story's always the same. It's the main character is right about something, and no one's listening to her. They need to listen to her. She was right all along, and that's the climax, is her family and the whole town being like, you were right. We should have listened. And she's like, oh, validation. And then the movie's over. Validation and praise.
Now that you mentioned it, I was having trouble figuring why I hated that fucking movie apart from the shit songs, but you've made
Encanto
me
or Wish?
Yeah, Encanto.
Yeah. I want to do a whole video about Encanto and how it started.
Is this the handsome villain?
Yeah, and he's Chris Pine. And what's funny is
it does actually look like Chris Pine, which is quite funny.
Yeah, and it's very much like he's handsome and evil. He's taking all the wishes and not granting everyone's wish. First of all, you shouldn't get the idea that everyone should get all their wishes granted is asinine and childish. No.
Is that is that the premise of the film?
Yeah, something to do. What's great is you hear about what the story was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the origin of When You Wish Upon a Star, the song. Where does that song come from? And they kind of took it and ran with it, and you don't really hear the song ever featured in the movie, except at the Disney titles. But yeah, she makes a wish. There's basically a kingdom where you can give your wish to the king, and he has magic where he can grant your wish if he chooses to. But he kind of hoards everyone's wishes and doesn't grant everyone's wishes. And this girl realizes if you wish upon a star, you'll get your wish. And the king is nasty and mean and evil, and we need to tell everyone the king is a jerk. And the king is just such a mustache twirler, someone else is using magic. How dare they? It's so yeah, I don't know. It's like almost like overtly like political almost. It's so dumb. But like I said, it's all validation fantasy. Like this main character is right. No one's listening to her. And the whole conflict of the film is just trying to get everyone to realize she's right. Why don't they listen to her? And then at the end, everything goes to shit. She makes everything better. And she was right. We're going to give you all the power. You deserve all the power because you were right.
So before I ask what you think of this out of 10, both of you, all I want to know is, are the magic little toadstool people likely to get their own spin-off movie? Because if so, I'm definitely going to see that.
Oh yeah.
No, they're featured for like 2 seconds.
I can already see that they're the most. This is I've gone through loads of stills, and this is the only still I'm interested in because I like
the little goat was cute. Like the
toadstool
character
people.
design is all good. It's always like the character design in Disney movies is always good. I mean, that's fine. But yeah, there's just something so soulless about this movie.
No, I was thinking that this animation, I'm looking at it, and I mean, you've just taken the word right out of my mouth. There's something sort of very. It's obviously all done in computers and yada yada and all that kind of thing.
Dude, this movie could have been made by AI, and I wouldn't.
That's
wouldn't
what
surprise
I was thinking.
me.
There's something
You wouldn't surprise me at
about
all if it was like a big. Oh my god, this movie was made by AI, and I would be like,
The
honestly,
script probably
makes
was.
sense. Makes sense.
I mean, it does like I don't know. It just sort of doesn't quite have the
when you see the
right,
animation moving, it does have a very distinct look, but it looks almost like video game animation. You know, they look like 3D characters, but they've got like 2D facial animation, which is interesting. I'm sure it's way easier to make art like this, but I don't know. Like animation aside, like the story sucks. The story sucks. It's literally like I said, oppression and validation fantasies. These are the conflicts that these I don't know, these female script writers keep. It's like Handmaid's Tale, but Disney. It's like
talking of female script writers. Tommy's in the chat. Hello, lady.
What up?
So yeah. Well,
didn't Bruce Almighty already touch on this though? 20 years ago, like everyone gets their prayers, he answers it all. Disastrous consequences.
Right. Yeah. You know, and it's like, it's like wish communism. Like everyone should be granted one wish.
If everybody got unlimited wishes or even 10 wishes,
even one wish,
have people like you know, imagine if Hitler had 10 wishes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's also there's like also very like even the songs. There's like one song specifically that's like very self-validating. Like the idea that everyone just it's like participation trophies all around. You know, that's like seems to be the general theme of these like post-Encanto Disney movies.
I've just realized
sorry.
No, mate. I just realized that's quite a good premise for a stand-up comedy show to take to Edinburgh, entitled "If Hitler Had 10 Wishes." You could do a lot with that as a stand-up comedy routine.
You better pay royalties for your idea.
Panzer IIs in 1939, or Tiger IIs. Yeah, but you haven't got 10,000 crews. Shit. Okay, that's
so
you know, that kind of thing.
Well, like I said, Wish was terrible. Color Purple was surprisingly good, and Wonka, did its job. I thought it was okay. It made me really want chocolate, but I thought it was particularly like non-offensive and also like not as special.
So, Northern, you saw Wish as well?
No, I've seen Wonka.
He was talking about Encanto.
Okay, so Stupenzo, Wish out of 10.
Oh God, a 1, 2. But 2 at best, just for like animation. I don't know.
Two
bad.
2 for the toadstools. Okay. Wonka, you would give what out of 10?
I'd say a good 5 or 6.
Northern?
I give it 6 out of 10. It's charming, but it's not really needed. I prefer. Give me the psychotic Gene Wilder Willy Wonka.
Yes, the murderer Willy Wonka.
Blue collar.
I give Wonka an 8. I love Wonka.
Yeah, you like Wonka a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give.
You're allowed to.
Give Wonka like 7.5.
I didn't hate it.
I quite like
that. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the thing about Wonka, it's very safe, but you could bring your kids to it, and it's
Well, like
Yeah.
musically, yeah, I mean, it was okay. Timothy Chalamet could sing and dance pretty good.
Yeah.
That was the other thing about Wish was so funny is Chris Pine has his talking voice, and then when he sings, it's like you picture
Clearly
like
someone else.
some handsome black man is now singing for him. You know, it's like it's totally different, dude. It's like what?
It's
There
weird,
is like
you can tell. You can always tell it's a black guy just by some
could be
kind
a
of
white
like
guy.
deepness in the
He's
voice. I
got
don't
a
know
very
why. I don't know how
soulful
you can.
voice.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
I don't know how you can, but you just can.
You can hear ethnicities in people's voices. It's not
I
unheard
know.
of.
Well, let's
And
all right, we're going to change topics because we've covered that one enough, I think.
Right.
And also
Yeah.
Santana's
And
running.
yeah, Color Purple, I'd give like a good 7 or 8 out of 10, honestly.
7 or 8. 7 or 8 for Color Purple. We're going to come back to Color Purple next week. We're all going to commit to watching that so we can discuss.
It'll be funny if you guys came back. We're like, I hated it. You're stupid, Enzo. Why did you
I
make
don't
us
know. I like musicals if they're done well.
Yes, the music parts were fantastic. It was very well done.
Let's talk about The Boys in the Boat. So, directed by George Clooney, entirely shot in the UK. I have several friends in this, including Chris Wilson, who is sitting next to Hitler in this photo, is one of the people who provided extras for Paratrooper
who plays Hitler?
It's not a big actor because
that looks like Steve Carell.
Yeah,
like,
I think
what?
it could be Steve Carell on his day off. But it's not. Hitler's not got a big role, but they just go there to watch the boat race, which I think he actually did do. And of course, Germany loses. I'm sorry to spoil the ending, but there you go.
No,
I mean, let's face it; they're not gonna make a film about America losing a boat race to Nazi Germany, are they? Yeah, and basically his group, he's got a company called Wartime Productions, and basically they provide German vehicles, German uniforms, and German reenactors. So he provided all of the stuff. I think most of the stuff for this front row. I dread to think what his wardrobe looks like at home, and interesting first date conversations must occur. But Chris is an absolutely lovely guy, extremely helpful, really gives a lot of time to small independent films. I dare say he got paid quite well for this one. Now, am I the only person who has seen The Boys in the Boat?
Sadly.
If I had, okay, so I won't.
I should have watched this instead of Wish, man.
You should have done. I won't spend too much time on it because, again, we can pick it up next week if we've all seen it then. But loosely, it's the true story of the rowing team that went to the Olympics before World War II, which I think was in 36 or 37, something like that. And they were basically a team of misfits, outcasts, to nick the word. One of them was from the street, effectively, and then you had others who were from the Ivy League. So it was a kind of mixed bag of guys. I didn't think that they made the most of the conflict that could have occurred from that in the film between the team itself, coming from the various different backgrounds that they did. It's there, but I think they could have been more. It's more about which is the best boat to go in the first place, and also them qualifying to go to the Olympics, and then stuff around the other sort of older characters and whatnot. Callum Turner is very good in the lead, British actor, flawless American accent in the movie. Joel Edgerton, as you would expect, is always good value. He's appropriately grumpy and curmudgeon-like as the coach. So I'm sure Stepenzo will approve. And yeah, this is all shot on a body of water, not a million miles away from Shepperton Film Studios out of West London. So it was all shot in the summer in the UK. I had various different friends that were extras on this production. So there's some of the real people involved. I'd give it probably it's a good movie. You come away thinking, okay, cool. I've been educated on that subject. Interesting story, good performances. I wasn't bored. There's
a lot of George Clooney movies, like Leatherheads and some of these other, like, it's always like old timey, like a sports film or an old timey kind of radio movie or something.
Now I'm going to call out an actor that, as a result of this film, I think I've been to that location. Funny enough, the Nazi flag wasn't there that day.
Darn.
Good job too. I'm going to call out an actor that I think as a result of this film, he's done a fair bit already, but I think as a result of this film, he's going to go big. And that is a guy called Sam Strike. This actor here. Now, he's already been in a number of really good, solid things. He's had small parts in things like Chernobyl and stuff like that. So he's only got 19 credits at the minute. But every time I see him in something, he's good. And he never overacts. He always underplays the scene. But I just think he's a really strong actor. He's another one of those actors where you kind of want to watch what he does when you're watching the scenes that he's in. I think he's really good. So I said this about Barry Keogh when he was in 71. Unfortunately, I didn't have a YouTube channel then, but I told everybody else. And look at him now. He's been nominated for Oscars and BAFTAs and is sucking the residue out of bathtubs. Oh, do you know, funny story. I'm sure the neighbours above me were watching Saltburn last night.
Oh, boy.
Because I suddenly heard a collective, oh my God. They were watching a movie, and I'm sure it must have been. It must have been they were watching Saltburn.
Just kidding.
It was anyway. It's The Boys in the Boat, worth checking out. Good film. Keep an eye on Sam Strike. I think he's going to go really big after this movie. I enjoyed Boys in the Boat. 7.5 out of 10. Not bad. So I also want to mention American Nightmare, 3-part documentary on Netflix.
This is about Gone Girl, right?
Well, it's not about Gone Girl. That was the
Right.
press calling her.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So in 2015, there'd been a number of home invasions in Is it pronounced Vallejo? Vallejo Valley in California.
Sure.
Sure. We think so.
The J is silent usually.
And there'd been a couple of attempted abductions, but in the neighboring counties.
Yeah.
This guy calls 911. He's been drugged. He says that their home was broken into. His girlfriend was kidnapped. Somebody pointed like a flashing light in his face, injected him with drugs. He woke up the following morning. Girlfriend's gone. There's a ransom note, $20,000. There's a camera that's been installed in the room. And he's been told not to move, and he'll be contacted. In the end, this guy calls the police.
Yeah.
There's original footage from the original first interviews. The police investigate him. Now, I have to admit, if I was a policeman, I would be quite like, this sounds nuts. You know, this doesn't sound plausible. But as a policeman, you have a moral obligation to investigate every possible cause of a crime. And the girl is missing, and the parents are notified, and she can't be found. What's really interesting is that they were told, he told them that he was going to get a call on his phone at a certain time. The police took the phone off the lad, bearing in mind that the lad had been assaulted and drugged. I don't think he was tested to see if he had been drugged. So they didn't test his urine or anything like that within the required time because they didn't believe him. And during the time that they took his phone off him, they put it on airplane mode. And during that time, the kidnapper called twice. If they had answered or got him to answer the phone, or had even just traced the call, they would have found out that it had gone to a tower that was within 100 meters of where his girlfriend was being held hostage.
Damn.
During which time she was raped twice. What they did was they didn't believe him. They didn't do any investigation whatsoever. They put his phone on airplane mode so they didn't see the calls. They never checked to see if there were any calls. They released a statement to the press when the girlfriend returned. She was brought back a day later and she was dropped off by the kidnapper, basically taken out the boot of the car. And so they thought that these two it was some sort of elaborate hoax. For what reason was never made clear. So the police very stupidly made a public statement saying that they'd made it up and that they were going to charge them. So the girl went and got herself a lawyer. Cut a long story short, 2 months later, this happened again to another family, but they fought off the attacker and he fled.
Damn.
And as a result of that attack, he was traced. He was an ex-Marine suffering from PTSD. He had a sheet of lots of sexual assaults and break-ins and things. And as a result of that, they found the goggles that were put on the girl when she was kidnapped, and her hair was on there, which proved that her story was completely true. And the police and the FBI, both of whom didn't believe the story. The FBI, the guy volunteered to take a lie detector test, and the FBI guy lied to his face and told him he'd failed it, when in fact the results were inconclusive. They're terrible. I would never agree to take one of those. So it's a 3-part documentary about that case. It's absolutely horrifying that they did no investigation whatsoever to even remotely try and disconcern whether this story was true, but just took Gone Girl had been out recently and they thought they'd been inspired to do some sort of Gone Girl hoax for whatever motivations we can't quite discern. Do we have anybody here that's ex-law enforcement or similar? Any ex-army?
Lord Toxic, ex-military police.
Tox is ex-everything, I know.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to know if anyone in chat has seen it.
Leon from Words of Paradise. He used to be a police officer, apparently, which is unbelievable.
Well, look, if you like your crime documentaries, it's not up there with Don't F with Cats.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Oh, that was good. It was good. I watched that in lockdown. It's not up there with Tiger King, but it is a really interesting case, and it's very cleverly edited because at the beginning, the narrative is framed the way the police see it, so that you do disbelieve them at the beginning. I was like halfway into episode 1. I was thinking, what's really happened here? So I get why they went down the wrong road, but I'm not a policeman. I'm a member of the public. So my job is to listen to the media and then decide or do my own digging. Your job is to investigate and find out what the truth is, but don't just assume someone is not telling the truth. You've got to investigate, or, keep the guy's phone on. Check if he's had any calls, seeing as his girlfriend's been. It was pretty nuts. Oh yeah, Leroy's got a new novel out today. He's just finished reading his own novel on Kindle. So I hope he didn't spot any mistakes if it's already out. I hate it when that happens. Yeah, Leroy, I think you sent me the link for that on Facebook. I'll drop it in a sec, or let me not stop sharing the screen and I'll find it. So no one else has seen that, no?
Nope. No, I want to watch it now though, because that's pretty messed up. 3
45-minute episodes, so it's not
Nice.
too big a chunk of your
Thank God.
time. Well worth
Thank God.
looking at.
I got time, man. Time is valuable.
Just depends though. We might need to do first weekend of March for the thing, the making of the thing, the Muppet thing.
That's fine.
I just heard from the Hollywood producer he's not available on the last Sunday.
Yeah, whatever, man. You know me, man. Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Good. Well, we'll get back and we'll firm that up. Yeah. Let me get this link. Okay. Yeah, Leroy, Facebook me that link, buddy, and I'll drop it. I'll drop it in the chat for people. Leroy writes novels about westerns and that kind of thing. So Northern, what else you seen? Oh, he's taking a wee, clearly.
Northern.
Yeah, I didn't see you.
Something.
Sorry about that. Bloody hell. But yeah, what did I say this week? Like I said, not much. I've just been getting notes for Heat, and I'm not going to lie, I'm coming to different conclusions than I did last time I saw it. And
you said you just watched the film Heat again?
No, not recently, but I have been going through footage of it just to get notes, and I have actually been coming to new conclusions about different scenes about the characters and
I tell you what
analysing them.
You know what you want to do before you finish that? You want to read this as well.
Yeah, Heat 2. Toxic's been on about that. It's a very good book as well.
It's written by Michael Mann, but he had a co-writer with him because it was his first novel, so that was very sensible. It's really good. It's got two timelines. It's got a timeline that's set 10 years before the event in Heat, and then it's got a timeline that's set 10 days after. And so you follow Val Kilmer's character in the present and what happens to him and how he gets away and how he flees the country, and the chase to find him, because Al Pacino's character is still trying to find him. And then in the past, there's this guy that ran into the gang before, whose his story is relevant in the present, and gradually the two storylines converge. So it's kind of Heat 2 is basically Godfather 2.
Mm.
Two different timelines. You probably have a younger actor playing a younger Neil McCauley. I think
Adam Driver's supposed to be playing Vincent Hanna on the adaptation. I think.
Oh, they are doing it.
Apparently, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, Adam Driver actually. Do you know what? Adam Driver would be great. Would be great as the young Pacino for this. He would. Yeah,
he's a veteran, and he looks young enough. He almost looks like he could be a young version of him. So
who would you cast as a young Robert De Niro though?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone. There's not many great actors at the moment. Nothing's coming to my head, to be honest. Nothing is coming. But I have been a little bit. I have been a little bit skeptical on Heat 2 because I've seen the first one so many times over the years. I'm like, do I really need to know the full past of these characters? You kind of get the pieces together anyway by how they act in the first one.
I liked it. I think the storylines in Heat 2 didn't detract at all from what I knew of the movie. It just built on it, and I really liked it. Some people haven't liked the book. I thought it was great. I couldn't put it down.
I'll still give it a go. Because I'm hearing good things. So yeah, maybe it might be worth having a go.
I'm curious to see if they are making Heat 2. I think
they are.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Michael Mann being made? I did a whole stream on Michael Mann, an episode of Chew the Fat. Heat 2 will shoot in 2024.
Mm.
God, both a sequel and a prequel. So they're going to do... Right, so what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to shoot 2 films.
To my knowledge, Adam Driver's supposed to be playing a young Pacino, correct? That's what I thought.
I'm reading through it here.
I know Adam Driver's definitely in it.
Yeah. One thing I need answering, because this is kind of bugging me now, because at the beginning when they rob the truck, they get an envelope of bearer bonds to trade with Van Zandt for cash.
Yeah.
But Van Zandt's pissed off, is like saying he's stealing. But I don't know if they trade with him. Couldn't Van Zandt just trade the bearer bonds and get cash back with that anyway, or does it lose value when?
No, he was just being greedy. He just decided to not pay them basically. So he was going to take them out.
Good, that's being clear. So yeah, Van Zandt's a dick. He's put himself in that position when he could have just given the money, take the bonds, then maybe trade them in for cash.
But I thought that was always really clear from his really insincere. Oh, I haven't heard from my person. Is he okay? Is everything gone all right?
Yeah.
And Nero goes, There's nothing on the end of this phone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what do you mean? Because there's a dead man.
Dead man on the other side of this line. I know. Yeah,
talking to an empty telephone.
Like you said, Van Zandt's been fucking greedy. He could have just done the deal. That's it. He wasn't losing or gaining anything. So, no.
When I went through my cinema ticket collection, I found the reel of tickets that I had for Heat, and I was living in Nottingham when that was out. And I can't remember much of my time living up there because that's all quite foggy because of when I had the brain hammering thing. But one thing I can remember is, if I got a cinema ticket, I remember where we saw the film, and a group of us, I believe, my friend told me that we hired a minibus and we all came down to London to watch it on the opening night. And I do remember it was packed out, and it was like, it's a very intense movie that you need to watch in the cinema when you see it the first time. If you're watching it at home, it's so easy to drift out of it and I'll make a cup of tea and a sandwich now, and that guy's called me on the phone again, I'm live streaming what's happening. You know, it's not a film that you can have distraction around you. But if you're in a cinema with people who are equally committed as they were in 1996 cinema audiences, it's so good, man. One of the best films ever made, in my opinion. You know, really good.
Especially the infamous Val Kilmer, the way the whole scene with how, I guess it was realistic, where they were training actual law enforcement how to reload guns the way he was doing it in heat because he was so efficient at it. Like that's legendary.
Yeah, they got the guy who wrote the book, the one who got away. He was the survivor of the Bravo 20 patrol. One of the I think 3 of them survived, or however many. But he was hired by Michael Mann to train them as ex-military. So that's why when
Andy McNabb, or is it Mick Gold?
Andy McNabb. I think it was either Andy McNabb or the other one. It might have been McNabb. I can't remember which. I think it was Andy McNabb. And of course, what the SAS trained to do is if they get in a firefight, they take the fight straight to the enemy. They don't retreat. So that's why when they get out the car, they lay down, suppressing fire one after the other, and push forward.
Yeah.
Leapfrogging, as Toxic told us when we did Reacher.
Yeah. It's good. That's a good segue, Northern. I just finished watching Reacher season 2. Who else, before anyone offers an opinion? Who else?
All these boys except me.
We've all seen it. Oh, okay, except you.
Actually, I missed the final episode. I watched it yet. Fucking hell.
Right. Okay. So Stepenzo has control of the sand timer. So Reacher season 2. Okay. Let's hit. Well, Chris, let's hear from you first, man.
I just said, overall, plus me and Wes live streamed it, so Amazon wouldn't block me. Amazon actually did release my block, which was cool after a week. But no, I said I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do think season 1's better. I'm not going to debate that. But I still, this is still recommendation from me. I do see the issues, no doubt. And to my knowledge, Wes would say that this is very similar to the book, but I get it. If I said Reacher season 1 was 10 out of 10, I give this a solid 8, which is still a good recommendation. And I had a lot of fun watching it with Luke and Wes.
Lord Toxic is in the chat. Always like seeing him on. It's funny. It's like his avatar of him looks so threatening, but and looks like, if you're in a cell with him in prison, you're gonna get proper rogered. But when you see him on camera, he looks like a cuddly pussycat. It's more like if you're in a cell with him, he's gonna do the cooking scene with you.
That's the misdirection. That's why.
Yeah, it's a lot of misdirection there. We do love Toxic though. So okay, cool. Northern, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's probably not as good as the second one, but I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out. It has its problems, a few plot holes, but I do like the team, and apparently it does detract a lot from the book, but I don't know, I'm just judging it as a TV show, not from the novels. Sometimes changes can be good if it helps the characters, helps the story out in a way that can be done on TV or movies.
Yeah. My take on it's pretty similar to the two of you. I liked season 1 a lot. I thought it was a good pushback against all the kind of naff, ungrounded stuff that we'd seen. But then season 2 got into the realms of fantasy a little bit with kind of, we're going to ram raid a weapons defense contractor building, smashing a glass panel with our 4x4, go and download some stuff off computers, race out, and there's still no one that's come to stop us or waylay us, let alone the security in the actual building itself, which appears to be completely non-existent, which for people who are involved in a mass terrorist plot involving weapons and computer software, you'd think they'd have, a couple of armed guys there. So there was some stuff like that I kind of thought, this doesn't really fit within the world you've created. You're kind of breaking your own rules, and it annoys me when shows do that. But that was really the only time they did it. The rest of the time, I was fairly okay with it. I didn't really buy the physical relationship between these two characters.
Yeah, it looks like he could break her in two, couldn't he? Because he's gotten so fucking big now. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like 275, you know?
It is, man. I did like Russo, though. Russo is so good.
I mean, all the actors are fine, but I just didn't buy. I don't know, because he seems like a man who doesn't compromise a mission. And if you get romantically involved with a member of your team, you're compromising it up the wazoo. So he just, I mean, I guess they're trying to humanize him and sort of show, but I feel like it should be like Knight Rider. It should be like he should have an affair with the pretty girl in the town every week, but not necessarily a member of his own team.
Which is what I guess. Well, that going to the flashbacks, that's why he didn't do stuff with her initially. And I feel like this is years later, so it's kind of an old like flame they had to rekindle.
Yeah, okay, which they rekindle, I guess. The actor on the left here, I think, is Dominic.
That's Russo, my buddy.
Lombardozzi. Yeah.
We love Russo.
He's so good.
I absolutely love this actor.
Yeah, Tulsa King there.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good in Tulsa King, but I saw him he's really good in Billions, but I saw him in something even before that. Power I saw him in, but I think even before that,
Ray Donovan.
Irishman. I remember him in The Irishman as Fat Tony. Yeah. But I'm just trying to think. As soon as I saw him,
he was in Daredevil.
Broadwalk Empire. That was it. He had a big part in Broadwalk Empire. As soon as I saw him in that, I was like, man, this guy's got presence. He's like a Michael Chiklis. I bet him and Michael Chiklis go up for a lot of the same roles.
Yeah, he's almost like Chiklis with a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and
he's got a real good working class look to him as well. You can really tell there's something very genuine about him.
Yeah, I mean, man, I would love to interview him if I could get him on the channel.
Get me on there if you don't, man. I want to talk to this guy. I like this actor. He might be my new favorite at the moment. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Hey, see what I can do. See if I can get it. On the subject of guests coming up, because I know Stupenzo hasn't got anything to add on Reacher because he hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, I can add stuff. I'm just
well, yeah.
I'm joking. Continue.
You are planning on watching it, I assume.
Yeah. Can't wait to shit on it just like I did with Yellow Jackets. I'll be like, wait a minute, you guys like this show? I'm just kidding.
So we're going to be doing an episode of Chew the Fat on Andersonville, which was directed by John Frankenheimer. It was released in 1996. I didn't see it until about 2003. I actually picked it up on DVD when I was out in Los Angeles and brought that back with me. True story about the worst American prisoner of war camp ever in the South during the American Civil War. It's a 3-hour-long movie that was originally shown in 2 parts on television. It's got a pretty decent budget, really good cast, a lot of unknown faces in there, but a lot of kind of people like Frederick Forrest, who is a jobbing character actor, sadly passed away in 2023, that you would know from a million different roles. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning Andersonville, apart from the fact that it's going to be an episode of Chew the Fat, we're not going to do a watch party on it because it's too long, but we're going to do Chew the Fat. I wrote to 3 of the cast members asking them if they would come on either that episode or just for an interview, with a chunk of that interview being focused on Andersonville. There's Frederick Forrest on the right. And there is William H. Macy, before he was embroiled in various scandalous scenarios. There's William Sanderson, who many of you will know from Blade Runner. He's the guy that makes all the little toys in Blade Runner. And Jared Emick, who did a fantastic...
The guy who makes all the little toys in Blade Runner. He was in Man's Best Friend, Blue Collar. He was the junkyard guy.
That damn dog.
So, anyway, I reached out to them, and one of them got back to me fairly quickly, actually. His name's Peter Mesnick. Yeah, Leroy's a big American Civil War guy. So he's going to be on the Chew the Fat episode. Actually, Tox, you can be on that episode as well, buddy. Now, I'm just going to put this caveat out there. The actor is more interested in doing an industry interview than necessarily coming on the Andersonville episode. I'm hoping what I'm going to do is do the interview with him first as a separate thing. I don't want to overcrowd him with people. And then when we've done the interview, if that goes well, I'm going to say, look, if you're free when we do the Andersonville episode, do you want to come on for the last 15 minutes and see if we can get him back on for the end of that? Because Andersonville was a long time ago, and he'd quite like to talk about other things he's done. So I don't think he's going to want to be on a 2-hour Andersonville stream, which is fair enough. But he is going to come on the channel, and he is the guy, if you've seen the movie, he's the guy who leads the charge against the Union brigand soldiers who are robbing everyone, whose character is called Limber Jim. He's a main character all the way through the film. And he runs around going, who's with me? Who's with me? Who? And he gets everybody to rise up and attack these awful men. And this is him, Peter Murnick. Sorry, I might have mispronounced that earlier. And he's been around for a long time, but he's mainly a stage and theatre actor. Has done everything from musicals and so on, but he's also been in things like Billions and Animal Kingdom and, NCIS, all the usual things. But yeah, he is the tall guy in that episode. So looking forward to having Peter on the channel. I'm sure he's had a very interesting career, and definitely a chunk of that interview will be about Andersonville. And then we are going to do a separate Andersonville episode. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? He was badass. Really good in that role. So have any of you guys seen that movie?
No.
No,
Okay.
no, I've just said it now. It's very weird because we rarely get films about. There's rarely any films I've heard that talk about prisoners of war during the American Civil War. We hear about
from my knowledge, apart from Mystery Island, the first 5 minutes of.
Or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and that's it. That's the only thing I know about.
This is the only one, and it's certainly the only one in terms of it's based on a true story. So Andersonville, we're gonna, but you guys need to watch it. So that's gonna be towards the end of February. Peter's interview will be earlier, and then the Andersonville will be towards the end of February, that episode. So add that to your list of things to watch, guys.
All right.
Tox and Peter of Leroy have seen it already.
You say so.
I do. And look, I only recommend you good films. So
everyone in the chat's talking about Deadwood, though. So yeah, I need to rewatch that show because that was fucking great.
Yeah, interesting factual piece of history. The only person executed for war crimes at the end of the American Civil War, and I'm sure there are a few contenders, was General or Colonel Wirtz, the guy who ran Andersonville, because of the poor conditions and the way in which he ran the prison, and he didn't do any of the basic things to make sanitation better, or do you know what I mean? It was just yeah. So Captain Wirtz, thank you. Yeah, that's his. There you go. This man's all over it. Okay, so yeah, just mentioning that. Has anybody else seen anything new? Stepenzo, you got anything else?
Well, like I said, we got me and Blue Collar watch Man's Best Friend. That's coming out tomorrow on my channel
with improved audio.
Yes, yeah, it'll be the first time you're gonna hear Blue Collar coming crystal clear on one of my Wii watches. But
is this the
Killer Dog with Lance
2019 film?
No.
1993 film?
1993.
Lance Henriksen, Ali Sheedy.
Yep, a killer dog running around. He's genetically mutated, and Lance Henriksen has to go capture his Frankenstein experiment before he goes crazy.
Eating cats.
He turns camouflage. He turns invisible. He climbs up trees with jaguar claws. It's so stupid. I loved it. And yeah, the toy maker from Blade Runner, he's in it. He's the junkyard guy.
Especially when you're drunk and high too.
He's lying. He's like, he tells the lady, like, "Oh, I got a ranch. I'll take that dog off your hands. He'll love my ranch, all my property." And And then as soon
He's
as
a
the
cute
lady
little dog
leaves,
chewing on my
as
hand.
soon as the lady leaves, he like hits the dog on the head with a shovel. He's like, "You're gonna be the meanest junkyard dog after I'm done with you, boy." It's so ridiculous.
And the dog is smarter than him.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen has blonde hair for some reason, and yeah, the dog has a dolphin brain.
People
And,
like him, but he's like he's an intense.
Oh, he's so over the top of this one. He's like, "Give me back my dog."
He's like when he was doing Near Dark.
Right.
I can't remember if it was somebody I interviewed on my channel or if it was an interview I saw. One of the people.
It all
that was on
blurs
that-
together, doesn't it, Lance?
Yeah, well, I work in the industry as well. That doesn't help. But one of the people that worked on that movie said that basically Lance Henriksen didn't shower for like a couple of weeks. He just wanted to like be like this vampire nomad leader guy. So he didn't shower, he didn't shave, he didn't change out of his costume. And they went into this bar, like sort of, for a drink and stuff. And no, it was on my channel. I remember now. And
didn't he tar his hair up a bit as well? Like,
yeah,
he put something
he was,
yeah.
and he went into the bar and he was in character, and he started on people in the bar and stuff, and they had to take him out, and we're like, dude, we're not on the set, chill out, like, save it for action tomorrow. I get why some actors do that. They want that.
Yeah.
If that's what helps them, because he is amazing in that film. It's an amazing performance. But so is he giving it the full Henriksen in this movie?
Yeah. There's definitely a part where he says like, "God damn it," as he like throws something like he does in every movie. Every movie he has to like he takes off his jacket. He's like, "Ah, he does that in every movie. I love it.
Yeah, Hard Target as well. He did that.
He does his coat's on fire. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
He's still firing his bloody gun.
And he always does this part where he makes his face where he's just like, "Give me back my dog." He's always got that like, I'm so tired of everything going wrong. I'm just about to go crazy. Yeah, in Alien he was pretty reserved, Leroy. He's Bishop.
You should have him stop
in
his
Alien
foot,
3.
like...
In Alien 3, he does that with his ears all bashed up. He's like, "Oh, don't shoot him. No." So he's always got to ham it up.
Yeah, he stubs his toes like, "Ah, I stubbed my toe."
You can imagine him on the set of Hard Target saying to some poor effects guy who's probably looking over his shoulder at the producer, where Henriksen's going, "Just do it. Set my coat on fire, man. Roll camera, roll camera."
No, that actually happened on accident. His coat accidentally caught on fire and he just rolled with it. And all the other extras, like when he's like throwing his coat, they're all staring at him and he's like, "What are you waiting for? Go get him." Like that's him improving. And it's just like, oh my God, it's so good. One of the things
I actually really like that movie.
Oh, I love it. We did a wee watch. Me and my cousin did a wee watch on that one. He's like, it's so funny because he ate weed edible brownies before we watched it. So he's like falling asleep. Like there's like exploding shotgun shells going off and people getting blown up. And you can hear my cousin like, he has like sleep apnea. And I'm like, "Michael, wake up. You're sleeping."
How cute is this dog in this shot?
Yeah. I don't want that dog to die. I don't care.
We joke about how the dog is he reminds me of one of those he reminds me of one of those Chinese sloth bears. That's what he looks like. He's a very big dog too. But yeah, there's another great part where Lance Henriksen's like in the police station and he like pulls out like a random like pill bottle and starts like eating pills in front of the cops. And then he's like, "You don't understand. When the dog's mood balancers wear off, he's gonna go crazy." And he starts like throwing everything off the cops' desks and stuff. And everyone's like cool with it. They don't like arrest him.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like there's like a murder. They find like a dead homeless guy, and they're like, "We need to bring Lance Henriksen here." It's like, why? He's like at a crime scene, like investigating a dead body. He's just some guy. He's not a law enforcement officer. So what is he doing there?
Man's best friend. What's the final verdict out of 10?
I for schlock, like his, like I said, I got my negative balance. Like it's a bad movie, but it's like a 5-star bad movie. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
so good. It's so bad.
I
it's
loved it
good.
as a kid, and I love it even more as an adult for
It's so
for all the
dumb, I
reasons
love it.
Enzo said. Like the dog's peeing acid, like he's a
For
face
no
hugger.
reason.
Like he's a face hugger, and he's peeing on a guy's face.
Why would we give like Lance Hendrickson's like, you know, coming up with this idea for a dog? And there's a great part where he's like, in the right hands, Max, that's the name of the dog. Max can save thousands of lives.
Yeah.
How? You have a dog that can kill people better. That's all he can do. He can pee acid.
The whole military
the point of
applications of this dog. Like what?
I'm gonna throw topics just to prove that chat. I do listen. I do love the film Looker from 1981, which was released with a big PR campaign on video.
The poster for Looker.
85.
Dude, I love the poster art for Looker, man.
Isn't it great how this looks like Ron Burgundy Anchorman with ray gun?
Yeah. I'm glad we were on the same page there, Lance. It's definitely
You
Will
stay
Ferrell.
classy, scumbags.
Is there surely one of these images is the poster art, right? Because the poster art is like one of the best 80s movie posters.
Yeah, there's
the chick laying on the TV, like Flashdance style. Yeah, it's so cool.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, there's Susan Day, who people may remember from LA Law. Looker is kind of a sort of slightly kind of Twilight Zone-ish thriller.
Before Videodrone.
With some sci-fi-ish elements. Albert Finney, there he is. I think we lost him by now, sadly.
I think he died years ago, to be honest.
Yeah, he plays a detective. There's a company doing shenanigans, and we know when companies do shenanigans, shit happens. So it's that kind of film. It's got a kind of a bit of a Coma vibe about it. Do you remember the movie Coma, based on the book by the guy that did Jurassic Park?
Michael Crichton.
That's a good movie. I need to do a retro review of Coma. Yeah, that's another poster. Make a note.
Dead Zone. It's one of my favorite Coma movies.
Yeah, Coma. We got to do one on.
Lord Toxic loves Looker.
Looker's an interesting film.
I love this anamorphic wide lens when like everything starts bending on the edges.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, they were very. That was quite a big early 80s. That was quite common.
No, I like it. Extreme panamorphic widescreen.
Let me get the poster up with the.
Yes, the poster art rocks.
Yeah, the main poster is. Is that as big as it goes?
Yeah, this is one of those posters where it's like you're gonna you see that in a video store.
Oh, there we go.
Like,
that's better.
It's like a good comic book cover. Like it poses a question, it catches your eye, it makes you want to watch it.
Well, here's the funny thing. That is not the cover that we got in the UK. I'm just
of course.
That now we got something with the guy with the kind of the Looker gun, sort of doing this, and it was
James
much
Bond.
More, it was
James John.
I think there was a hint of like there might be a naked lady in this film type poster, but it wasn't like this. This looks like more like Poltergeist.
If looks could kill. Yeah. But it's before Poltergeist too, so that's why it's rocking. Yeah, dude, Looker.
So Jay Goodwin brought that up, buddy. Thank you for reminding me. It is a good film.
Looker.
Leroy gives it 10 out of 10. I'm not sure if he's talking about Man's Best Friend or Looker. Or he may be talking about Hard Target or Aliens.
Both are good.
Or Andersonville.
Man's Best Friend is a 10 for depending how you look at it.
Susan Day from the Partridge Family. Toxic loves Looker. So, yeah. Man's Best Friend is 10 out of 10. Leroy, you got a strange taste, man.
Give back my dog.
I love you. Yeah, have I watched any oldies since last week? Have I rewatched any old stuff? I'm rewatching North and South at the moment.
Okay.
That's that accent.
Because I've been playing my that was where the accent came from. You insult me, sir. Lots of that going on in the show. I've just got to episode 1 of book 2. And I've been watching like the making ofs and the retrospectives, and because I've been playing that American Civil War game. Sorry if it sounds like I'm eating something, it's because I am. And There is a version of. I started watching it and I was thinking, God, the quality of this is bad. I've got the DVD of it, so I could have just dragged that out. But then I realized somebody has upscaled it to 1080p on YouTube with Spanish subtitles. So you just need to switch those off. And it's better quality than when it was shot. So because I remember when I watched it, was pretty, what was the format that they shot this kind of TV stuff on?
Was it
the
4:3?
early was it Super 16? I don't know. Stupendo, can you see if you can find that out? What North and South was shot on? So I forgot lots of things. Like I forgot that film director, previously an actor, previously one of the leads in Christine, John Stockwell was in North and South, playing the younger brother of Patrick Swayze's character. No, sorry, he's not in the Swayze family. He's in the other family. And he's replaced by Parker Stevenson in Book 2, who, of course, most people will know from running around in tight red pants in Baywatch. And they do look a bit similar, but Parker Stevenson's like 8 years older than John Stockwell. It's kind of weird watching the show again now, because there's huge tracks of the story that are about slavery and the various narratives going on within that. Some of those narratives feel quite tame. Some of them feel like you'd never get them on TV now. So it's a weird blend. But it was quite on the whole, I'm quite enjoying watching it. And of course I'm playing the campaign game at the same time. I just lost as the Union, by the way. And when you play this game, when you get to the end of the war, I fought like 20 battles and I lost 6. I lost mostly. I lost towards the. I did really well up until Gettysburg, and I won Gettysburg, and then after Gettysburg, I started losing because I didn't really know how to play the game properly. And at the end of the war, you get this report that comes up, and it tells you, it's a biography. It tells you what happens to your character. And I got told that my general, because of the notable victories that people remembered, I did quite successful in politics and did well as a senator. And my war biography, was a medium seller that was widely respected, if coldly reviewed or something. It was quite a funny thing.
North and South was filmed on 35 millimeter, just good old fashioned.
Wow.
Yeah, it's spherical cinematic process.
Right, so that's why that guy was able to upscale it, and it looks good, and it isn't all squashed and shit. Because if it was
TV, a lot of TV were filmed like they got that weird extra frame rate, like the soap operas and stuff.
Yeah.
Smoothing.
Yeah, easy in the chat, please, guys. Don't start swearing at each other. I don't want to have to start deleting comments and shit. So no politics, please.
Oh my god.
But yeah, toxics in here. What do you expect? So I started naming. I started naming all the.
Hey, I'm in the
units
South.
In my game, they're all named after you guys. So I had this unit of artillery called the Vex cannons. They actually got overrun and plundered, so they were destroyed. I had
the Enzonian armor.
I had Sassy's riders, and they got killed, and and then I've got Drinkers, Drunkards, the Gourds, Pumpkin Smashers, and you can imagine the rest. I haven't got a Northern Bastards brigade yet, but I'll work on that. So I've been playing that game quite a bit and streaming it occasionally.
The Enzonian artillery cannon. I like the way that.
Has anyone else been playing any games?
Well, Jackbox, Quiplash.
Yeah. Bandad made it during the end though.
Oh
so
yeah.
So Jackbox is the name of a game, or what?
Yes, it's
those stupid Quiplash games we play at the end of my show the past few weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, ad-libbing.
Yeah, but dude, the end of your show is like my 6 a.m. So I probably haven't.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a stupid online game, party games, murder trivia. It's a trivia game. Also, I play GTA 5 occasionally online when I want to catch up to podcasts and I have like some time to kill. I play PlayStation like once a week for like 2 to 3 hours. I'm not like you guys where I need to start. I got a PS4, but I need to figure out how to
switch it on.
stream my game and like show like all the pooning.
Who's got an Xbox One here?
I have all three: Xbox, Switch, and PS5.
Oh boy!
So do you know what? I love playing zombies. Remember zombies?
Yeah.
And I like playing zombies on the old maps before they made the maps too complicated with too many gadgets and all that. That's all like really annoying now. And and they did a map called Derice, which was the one where you had the teleportation platform in the middle, and the packet punch machine was right there. And then it was kind of it was the first time they had all the perk machines and whatnot. I think it was the first time they introduced the packet punch machine. Actually, it was like the 5th original zombies map, and I've got a tactic for that map called the runaround, where there's a 360 circuit that you can do, and you hold at one place, kill loads of them, then you drop, you run, you hold at another place, kill loads of them, you drop, you run, and so on. And it would be really great if we could get the 4 of us playing that sometime, and live stream it. Because I know it's old hat, but I really miss playing that game with a bunch of friends. That got me through that's how I got through the passing of my parents. Was I was
we could
playing,
we could definitely goof off on Jackbox anytime, man. So I mean,
you eventually learn. So I would like to do things like, I'm not sure if you heard the game called it wasn't the quartering, it was something like there's these like pick your own kind of path games. It's like you have it's like everyone votes, like, you have 5 characters in a horror setting and everybody can vote. It's like, should the character go left or right, kind of thing. Like choose your own journey. They're pretty fun.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep politics out of the chat. I understand what everyone's saying, but let's just draw a line under it.
I did beat Jedi Fallen Order. I tried playing Jedi Survivor today, but the PlayStation and YouTube was crashing. I just said I like Fallen Order because it was the first, I think for me, the only good Star Wars thing to come out in the past 10 years. And still, I think the Darth Vader sequence was better than Rogue One. Vader's in it for 5 minutes, and it's the best 5 minutes I've seen in 10, 12 years. It's just like, oh shit, it's Vader.
So this
that was the case with the first one as well, because it's like they got different teams working on the Star Wars games, but a completely other team on the Star Wars TV shows and movies.
So this is Quiplash, right?
Yeah.
How does this work? I've got to buy it though, have I?
No, but one of us has to buy it. I own it, so all I need to do is launch a game, give you guys a room code. You go to jackbox.tv, we all play it together, and it's like, there's funny questions. You put in a funny answer, as funny as you can come up with, and the funniest answer is voted and wins.
So if we're looking at this screen here, the worst theme for a pinball machine: diarrhea, death and suffering, corduroy pants.
Look, I could tell you whatever examples they're giving you, our versions are infinitely worse and more offensive. I could tell you right now. So we get funny with it. A lot of amaranth answers.
I feel I have to play this game.
We'll have fun, dude. We don't need to play it on a stream too. We can play it, randomly, anytime. It doesn't matter. Obviously, the more players, the better, though. 8 players max. 4 players is fun.
Everyone plays on their phone too, so it's pretty simple.
Well, you can play on another tab on your web browser, or you can play on your phone. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, Fab, I guess we're kind of coming to the end because we're 1:15 midnight. We've been going for 2 hours. We've been a bit vague in our topics in the last 30 minutes, but that's all good.
Well, fun.
Let's start doing the shout outs. So we'll start with you, Stepenzo, because your streams may well cover everybody else's potentially.
Well, no, I'm not. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Blue Collar talk about his From Dusk Till Dawn show next to later, a couple hours from now. But yeah, I'm gonna get it. Like I said, tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm gonna release premiere the Man's Best Friend We Watch. We're entering a whole new era, folks, where these We Watch videos are gonna have totally improved audio and graphics and fun stuff going. And yeah, they're funny movies. Yeah, and as far as that, I don't really have anything else going on except appearing on my show and your show, Lance, and Blue Collar shows. I don't have any guest appearances for the next couple weeks, so I might
Guys, drop
work
your
on my
links,
stupid Renfield video.
drop your links for your channels in the chat, would you? If you've got a hammer, and if you don't, put it in the private chat, and I'll copy and paste it in there right now.
All right then. But yeah,
I think everyone knows.
I normally have them down there, but I've had such a busy day. I haven't had time to do YouTube minutia, as I call
we're
it.
not friends
Oh, God,
anymore.
I'm scared since I apparently pissed
Why do
somebody
you
off
hate
today.
us, Lance?
I got my first troll.
Sorry, go on, mate. Let's refocus so people don't focus on me chewing an orange.
Well, no, that's about it.
All
Blue
right,
Collar, you
thanks.
want to talk about what you got?
Oh, well, no. In what, an hour and a half, we're going to watch From Dusk Till Dawn, the classic Quentin Tarantino film. And yeah, let's have fun watching. Some people could say it's Quentin's best film and definitely the best Salma Hayek scene.
It's definitely one of Robert Rodriguez's best films.
It's I mean, Quentin produced
Wrote it.
I know he's in it.
Oh, he's definitely in it.
Yeah, I met Salim Hayek at Cannes.
Selma.
He was literally 3 feet
Were you
away
lucky,
from me.
Gate?
Dear God.
Yeah, and I mean,
Selma.
very, very petite, incredibly beautiful, stunning woman. And she went round and sat in front of us, and we were in the inside of this hotel kind of cafe bar area, and she was on the outside. And sitting with her were like 5 of the power women of Hollywood. You know, I can't remember who they were, but it was, you know, the kind of Kate Blanchett, you know, all of that level. And I recognized the face of each one of them, and I was like,
Yeah.
shit. We're like, there's a glass of window pane between us and 5 Hollywood A-listers. This is a bizarre place, you know. But hey, that's the nature of the business. It's quite weird. Yeah, it just depends though. You hadn't quite finished. Sorry, man. I thought
No, I did finish.
Anything else?
I did.
And send me those links or drop them in the chat, guys. Do the links for your channels now, please. Bastard.
Well, I've got Heat Stream coming up on Friday. I've already done my video talking about the new
Who's your
Indiana Jones game
guest?
that's come out.
Hey, so hang on.
Yes.
Is Heat a stream?
Yes, and my guest will be Lord Toxic because
Oh boy.
I want to next.
What time on Friday is this?
10 o'clock
UK time.
UK time. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still working this out a little bit.
Well, let me know, man. I wouldn't mind popping on. Maybe not for the whole thing, but I could come on towards the end if you've got space or. I love.
I should though, because it's mostly just me and Toxic. I mostly want to do 2 while I'm starting, but you know what? I'll challenge myself. I'll try and host one with another 2 guests on.
Well, look, man. All you know is if me and Toxic are on there's going to be lots of gay prison jokes. So it's going to be a riot. Fun stuff.
That's just what my stream is missing.
Yeah, I that's what I thought you said. And again, for anyone watching at home, please don't take any of our comments literally. You need to have strong sense.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on
Toxic on there because plus I want Toxic on there because he knows all this stuff, and having him on there will be really good. It'll probably make the stream much more not just mad dumbass rattling on about it.
Well, I mean, if you're doing a stream with a strong, shall we say, military bent, it's good to have someone who's of military mind.
Exactly.
I mean, we all love busting Wes's balls, but like having his military expertise and say Reacher, I did like hearing the good and the bad because they did get a lot right, but they got a lot wrong. And somebody who knows this stuff, it was pretty good listening to it.
Yeah, and not only that, he knows story beats as well. So so that adds more value to it.
Yeah, fab. Well, good. Listen, if I'll try and be in the chat, and if there's a segue to pop on. always up for doing that. So,
well, as a movie maker yourself, that would be really great.
Listen, I always wanted to do like the Heat scene, but in central London. And they I don't know if you saw the Sweeney movie, but there's a really brief gun battle that takes place in Trafalgar Square in that film, and they had to close down. They had something like a 30-minute window to do those shots, and there's only a couple of them that are actually in Trafalgar Square, and the rest of it's all cheated. But they had to close it down starting at 2:00 in the morning to do the shots for first light at 6, and everything had to be open by 6:30. So that's how
London's a very
difficult it
busy
is.
city, isn't it?
Yeah, to film in central London and to close down a road to do a gun battle, you're talking it's a logistical nightmare. But boy, would I love to do that on one of like the bridges in London or something. I mean, look, what's that? Extinction Rebellion shut down a bridge in London for seven days. So surely we can have
those
it for
idiots. Oh yeah, but it's bloody disgusting. It really is.
Actually, that'd be a good idea. Get them to shut it down, then bring the film crew in, shoot your gun battle, and then you're sorted.
Yeah, make them useful for once.
Well, no politics. So. Okay, I'll tell people a few of the things we got coming up, and then you guys can shout out to me if you want to be on any of these. So we got a few watch parties I'm going to do. We just did The Last Starfighter. That was great fun. We all love that movie, of course. I'm looking forward to doing this one. So this is your chance to write down. Oh shit, I've got to watch that as well. If you want to, of course, these are watch parties, so don't forget you can kind of, if you saw them a long time ago, you can have it on in the background when we're talking about it. We're going to do Albert Poon's The Sword and the Sorcerer. So Tox, anything to do with combat, military, gay prisons, mate, you're always going to be on that stream. So we love you, man. Purely in a friend's way. Don't go mad. So, and Tox and I will go to a bar. Damn, that's going to be dangerous. So we're doing that. I'm doing a Chew the Fat episode on one of my favorite films from the 1980s that most people have not seen. I think I'm going to do this one pretty soon. I'm not doing a stream this Saturday because I've got a dinner party at my house. For those people that are watching that don't understand what that is, what it is people come round to your actual house where you live and you meet them in person and socialize. Similar to this, but there's no television screen.
I've heard of this. I never actually experienced it.
Yeah, it's an old custom. It used to happen sort of in the early 2000s. But we're going to do At Close Range. That's a really, really good film. It's one of Sean Penn's best performances early on in his career. It's the only time Sean and Chris Penn have been in a film together where they've played brothers in the movie. They have been in one other
film. Rest in peace, Chris.
Yeah, I know. It's a real shame that he.
Oh, great. Got Michael Cera in the chat.
Passed away so young. What's that?
Michael Cera's in the chat.
Michael Cera is in the chat.
Gourd King.
Oh, were they doing Jacob's? Oh, I thought Jacob's
No,
stream. I thought they meant Jacob's Ladder for.
Yeah, damn.
No.
To, wrap up, Gord, but so
Gourd King just streamed with he just streamed just now earlier. Old movies. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, Gord's Court. I thought you weren't going to do that at the same time as my. What's going on, Michael? What's happening?
Did it earlier.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on to do a stream as well, but Fridays are a no-go for him, so I might have to move it to another day.
Listen, man, he's doing a lot of streams and he's kind of on set like 5 days a week. Michael Cera, Gord King is a hard man to pin down.
Busy man.
Going to be doing
I'll get my channel up.
So watch party and discussion of Cocoon. I'm definitely going to shed it. I guarantee you I'm going to cry when we do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to see me embarrass myself, definitely tune in, or you could say in touch with my man feelings.
It's got Wolf in it.
We've also
don't get toxic on though.
No.
He'll be using plenty of rope jokes later.
I'm going to recommend a couple of other things that I don't think you guys will have seen, just to plant the seed in your mind now so that you make an effort to watch them. So I'm going to do a Chew the Fat double bill, because a lot of the Chew the Fats were 2 films. So these are, I mentioned this before, I mentioned it again. These are 2 Australian movies called The Dish and The Castle. They both came out in the late 80s. I think The Dish might have been 1990, but the Castle was 87, I think. Both made by the same production team. Comedies. Dish is they're both true stories to a degree. The Castle is about a very average family that refuses to sell its house to the airport expansion project, which is a bit of a giveaway in the poster. And The Dish is the true story of the Australian satellite dish, which is located in Parkes, which if you've read the Diamonds in the Sky novels, you will know that Parkes is a massive storyline in the Diamonds in the Sky novels, and they facilitate communications with the moon landing when it went out of arc from NASA's comms. Really great. Now, Jason Flemyng is going to be on this one, and
Nice.
all of the regular gang can be on it too. So we're going to have a member of the cast when we talk about Deep Rising.
Yeah,
and I
got my
that.
Deep Rising we watch coming out in 2 weeks. So
yeah, we'll try and do it pretty soon. So
yeah, I'm excited.
But that's gonna be a treat for the Tuesday.
What's your friend's name? Flemyng? Jason Flemyng? Yeah, we did take the piss out of his character a little bit on that movie. It was me, Dark Hour, and Uninspired Reviewer watching it.
Well, what we'll do is we'll show him that clip when he comes on and see what he thinks of your criticism.
Oh, it's the part where there's a good one where he Treat Williams like kicks him in the nuts and he falls on the ground, and I was like, Lance's friend, everybody.
Well, it's funny because I mentioned him. I was talking to a certain Hollywood exec about movies, and I said, "Oh, I saw 137 in 1 year." Blah, I was talking about my book, and they said, "Oh, I saw 137 films last week. You know why? Because I've got to judge them for the Oscars." And I said, "Oh, my friend Jason Flemyng just had to do that. He's a judge on the BAFTAs." And this person went, "Jason Flemyng, oh, he's a wonderful actor. I love him. My God, I don't know why I haven't worked with him yet." And I said, "Well, you absolutely should." And at this point, I was really thinking, God, I wish I'd recorded this so I could play that for Jace. Nice to have one of the most powerful people in Hollywood.
You got to play the part from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen when he's Dr. Jekyll and he's like, "Not the whole thing."
I spoke to him on the phone when he was having his makeup done. I didn't even know he was in the movie. And he said he was in Hungary or wherever. And he said, "If you could see me now, you would not believe it." And I went, "Why?" And he said, "I've got about a 2-foot ear attached to my head." And I was trying to picture it. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "I'm in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen." I was like, because I've read the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Who's read the graphic novel for that, the original?
Hell yeah.
No.
You've got that super cool
No.
James Bond-esque ending with a massive airship that's being attacked by an army of ninjas with microlights and machine guns. Why would you not put that in your film?
Yeah.
Money?
No, they could have done that sequence. Come on, man.
I'm just sad that they didn't make Quartermain a heroin addict like he's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, Sean Connery would have had a lot of say on that because he was heavily involved in that movie.
That movie brought his ass into retirement. You know,
Yeah.
that's always cool when you're like, you know what? Like, who was it? Also, it was like Turbulence. That was like Lauren Holly. She's like, she did that movie. She's like, "I'm never doing an action movie again." You know, like
she's a good actress, actually. I thought she's quite underrated.
Well, she did Turbulence, and she was like, "I ain't doing this crap anymore." And like, your career kind of fell off because, like, yeah, you just take a stand. You're like, I'm not tired. I'm not going to be put in this set that's like a barrel and just spun around like a carnival ride. And yeah, Sean Connery probably the same thing. I'm spending all this time running and hanging out on horses. I'm an old man, you know.
Okay, so for those of you who have got a lady friend in your life, this is why I'm going to do you a solid favor. So my brilliant friend, I mentioned it before, absolutely fantastic Italian television drama series. There are 3 seasons available. The 4th is coming out this year. It will be the last. It's based on a series of books, and it's really about 2 friends who grow up on the outskirts of Naples after World War II, in the working class, new kind of constructed neighborhoods, and it follows them right through life. And it's you see Italy change, and you see their neighborhood change from the 50s to the 60s, 70s, and so on. And season 3 is in the 70s. It's absolutely fantastic, brilliant acting, extraordinary production design, great story, very interesting characters. There's lots of grumpy curmudgeons in it, Stupenzo, so something for you. Lots of pretty ladies in it as well, so something for Northern. And some cool cars, so blue collar, something for you too.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a good show. You've got to invest a bit of time, and if you're not keen on stuff with subtitles, well, come on, man, got to check out these shows. But it's really good. I highly recommend it. Probably won't do that until about March, April. So you've got time to watch it. But Matthew Holmes, who's my Australian film director buddy, he's going to be co-hosting that with me. But we want some people to come on that haven't seen it before.
Okay.
So guys, you've got to commit to 3 seasons of girlydom. If you just watch the first season, that's fine. But it would be great if you could check it out. Just mention a couple more of these. I won't do them all. This is a classic from 1982, I want to say, and it's the last film I saw with my grandmother, which is The Seawolves, directed by Andrew V. McLachlan, who directed Tim Bentinck in his first feature film. He talks about that on my industry interview that we did the other week. This is the true story of a kind of World War II British operation to take out a German antenna in the port of Goa that was sending coordinates for Allied shipping convoys that were passing through that route. And as I said, it is a true story. Got some big names in it: Gregory Peck, David Niven, Roger Moore, and Trevor Howard's in it as well, the late great Trevor Howard. It is a good film. It's not a great film, but it's worth your time. It's got there's bits of it that haven't aged well. It's got some pacing issues here and there, but overall, I think it's not a bad film. David Niven's biography, and he's written more than one, is a fantastic read. You're absolutely right. That man could talk the pants off anybody.
Does David Niven and Gregory Peck have that same chemistry they had in Guns of Navarone?
Yeah, and this was the last time they worked together, and it was Niven's last film, and he's pretty ill because he had polio, didn't he? And he's pretty ill in the movie, and a lot of his shots were done with a body double. It was
a real life World War II veteran as well, though. So he had authenticity. Can't get the word out now. Authenticity.
Do you want to take another? Do you want to take another big sip of alcohol and try that again?
I can't say it either.
There we go. Bloody hell! I had a right.
Authenticity.
Blank spot then.
Let's say authenticity loses its meaning.
Authenticity. Here we go.
I'm sorry. The film came out in 1980, not 1982. My apologies.
Liar.
And guys, you can find a really good, pretty high-res copy of it on YouTube at the following link, which I'll drop in the chat right now. So if anyone wants to see an old-school World War II adventure yomp, there it is. And I'm going to show a quick clip of it, actually. There's one actor in it who's got an eye patch on. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Gettysburg with all the fake beards and so forth, but that same actor is in Gettysburg quite some time later, and he's also done voices on Babylon 5, and I've got him here actually, so I'm going to show you him
in your pocket.
You won't be able to hear any sound on this clip Yeah, he is. If we've got any Babylon 5 fans, if you remember when the Narns were going to go and they were going to try and take out the Centauri with a surprise attack, and they committed like their entire fleet, and Jakar tries to talk them out of it, and the guy who's in charge of the fleet says, Jakar, we're far too along with the attack now to turn back. That's him in Narn makeup. This is after they boarded the German ship, and they're keeping them all prisoner and so on. Meanwhile, these guys are looking for the antennae, the secret radio room on board the ship, and they're waiting for the submarine to contact them, and so on. So this is kind of towards the end of the movie. Lots of people are taken hostage. Quite a lot of shit kicks off towards the end of the film. People blowing open doors and lots of MP40 machine gun play. This kind of thing. So it's not quite Where Eagles Dare, but it's not a bad movie. I've got a lot of fondness for it. It's got a great score as well. The music is very, very fun.
Yeah.
So there we go. I think that's it for tonight then. I'll let my guests have a quick last word. Blue Collar, any final thoughts?
No, so tonight we're just watching From Dusk Till Dawn, and I'll check out Color Purple for Enzo's recommendation and talk with next week Lance, and pretty much it.
What time are you doing Dusk Till Dawn?
We're gonna go about an hour and 20 minutes gives everyone time to take a shower, get some alcohol ready.
I might pop on and say hello.
I gotta ask you real quick. Did you see Beekeeper? You were saying recently. I wasn't sure.
I did see Beekeeper.
I just love the fact that it did $100 million. It's a stupid action film, but it's old school action.
I'm quite okay with them doing a film about a guy who takes revenge for a woman who gets scammed by scam callers and hunts them down and kills them. I think that's a brilliant plot, and it would be even better if it happened in real life. It's fun. I mean, you want to see people like that get their ass.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a good Friday night popcorn movie. It's exactly what it is. And if a film like that does $100 million, I'm okay with it.
It was better than any of the recent Star Wars films I've watched, and far more realistic as well. And that is saying something. Northern Bastard.
Final thoughts? Salma Hayek's
Did you just let one rip then? Sorry.
I
cut to you and it was like, okay, anyone watching this video?
I have no idea what's happened there.
Play back on YouTube. Someone just let rip, and it wasn't me.
Yeah,
was that you, Supenzo?
No.
Unless it was one of my ways moving, I don't know. But
okay, right. Next Tuesday, the detectives will be on the case, and we will rewatch this footage next Tuesday to see who the guilty party is.
Dude, I fart on streams. I put the mic right up to my butt so you can hear it.
Yeah.
I make sure it's a thing.
He's not joking.
I farted a few times on the mic on a few of the We Watches.
Pretty high-ranking guests coming on this channel. We could try and keep
Oh yeah. I want to meet Jason Flemyng so I could fart in the mic for him and quote him in Layer Cake. I love the line of Layer Cake where he's like,
"Oh, you bloody joking with the bloody farting, Supenzo? What the bloody are you doing that for, mate?
Fucking females is for puffs." That's my favorite line that he ever said.
Layer Cake. Oh, I need to watch that again. That is such a good film.
That's
all right.
Okay,
well, it's fun hanging out with you, Lance.
Can you do that impression of Jason from the film again so I can record it?
Okay. Here, hang on. Let me get on camera.
No, I'm just doing audio.
No. Let me do the whole shebang where he's just like,
he's animated.
Fucking females is for puffs. That's it. I love it.
He's gonna love that.
He has way too much fun.
So cool. Okay, I guess that's it then. So on that bombshell, next week we will carry out a thorough investigation, more thorough than the post office ever did, of Horizon, and find out who was the Phantom Farter. Don't forget, I've also got Ron Underwood interview coming up next month. It is on the 13th of Feb, and we are going to be talking a fair bit of time. We'll be discussing Tremors, I suspect, but he has been involved in a number of other productions, this is also the man who directed City Slickers. He's done episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Once Upon a Time, Hawaii Five-0, La Brea more recently, many episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. But of course, the original, the best Tremors films, one of the best creature feature films. I'd argue after Jaws, I'm not sure what would be the best creature feature film after this. I mean, The Thing, yeah, but just like for an all-round popcorn movie, because this has got everything: action, comedy.
Tremors is the thing. You throw it up there with the perfect movies like RoboCop and Ghostbusters. And Tremors is up there, man. It's like
it is.
There's no filler. Everything, all the setups and payoffs. That is why Tremors. Everything that pays off in the final act was set up at some point in the first two acts. It's so good.
So here's the thing. While I remember, sorry, Northern, to cut you off. Because I don't know how many people I'm going to be able to have on this stream. So if you want to record a comment for Ron, and that would be the perfect comment, Enzo, what you just said. I love Tremors because, and just a quick, concise soundbite. If you want to send those to me as little video files, I'll play them to him during the stream, because I don't want to have too many people on, because he's not been on the channel before, and it might be, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I got it.
Overwhelming. So it's probably just going to be me and Matthew, and I might have a couple of people pop on at the end, but it's probably going to be me and Matthew.
We'll all be in the chat, so
yeah. But look, if you want to record a little video, you know, whether you want to say something about Tremors or Slickers or whatever, send me a little file, or even better, send them to Enzo, and he can edit them all together, and we'll play them for him, because I'm sure he would like that. Sure. Great. Okay, right. Well, that's it. We are wrapping it up there. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Spread the word about the channel. Spread the love. Check out the industry interviews. There are more there now than there were when I last spoke to you. More to come. More parody comedy reviews to come. More actual reviews to come. A little bit of gaming here and there. We'll be back with the Nielsen ratings same time next Tuesday. Until then, take care of the people that look out for you. Make sure you look out for them. And we'll speak to you all again real soon.
Later.